Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your TWitWoW Five Fave Fives. It is, I believe, the 17th edition of Five Fave Fives, but more importantly, this is the post Royal Rumble 2022 edition of Five Fave Fives, and this is going to cover everything up to, but not including, Survivor Series 2021. So we're going back that far. It's basically like 10 and a half, almost 11 weeks. And we are going to be listing our top 5 favorite performers as well as honorable mentions in the WWE, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, and Stardom. And then we also have an other list which covers the entire rest of the wrestling world, which gave me a lot of problems tonight. So I'm ready to get into these lists when you are, John. How you feeling, man?
You say problems. I say ammunition. I can't wait to hear the heat that you're packing tonight.
Oh my God.
Guys, this is always my favorite commentary. I know Ashton was even kind of freaking out about his list. I said, man, this is about two guys, friendship. We've done this podcast for years. I like when we can just sit back, celebrate the wrestling we enjoy. And I mean, he's been watching so much more of it than me. I straight up told him, I'm like, for me, my wrestling is really confined to, what we cover on here. But he's been watching Impact and TJPW. I think he's gone deeper into Noah than I have, even though I did like a little bit of Noah taste that I got, between fucking Wrestle Kingdom and Javaris's request recently.
I will tell you,
so I'm excited.
Regarding Noah, I think I have a grand total of like 5 or 6 Noah performers between my actual list and my honorable mentions.
Yeah, that's
so it's
that's
not
fucking
that
great.
Extensive, but it is there.
Right.
Presence is there for sure.
Yeah, I'm just really excited for this. I love that we do this. To me, I'm really laid back and chill. There's no like anal formalities or anything like that. I'm just ready to let loose and have some fun. So I know we begin with the WWE list. My good sir, do you want to do the honorable mentions first, or do you want me to do the honorable mentions first?
I normally leave that up to you, man. Do you want me to go first?
Let me just finish telling Abel that I fucking love him so much in chat.
Okay.
Even though he's going to hear it here as well. Okay, yeah. I just did. So I guess I will go first. I want to let everybody know that I, too, have something about my list that I just want to make clear, just to make things nice and tidy. I also kept my honorable mentions to 5, because I'm thinking, if any of my top people got hurt, of which that's a roster of 5, who would kind of fill in that slot, male or female-wise. And so, yeah, like to keep a nice little correspondence there.
Which is so ironic, because I have more honorable mentions this time than I've ever had before.
Yeah, so it's like I constricted myself, and you were like, no, you know what? I'm doing everything. So my honorable mentions for WWE, number 5, Sasha Banks, 4, Big E, 3, Naomi, 2, Liv Morgan, 1, Kevin Owens.
Now, when you list them, when you say 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, does that mean like if this was a top 10 list, that would have been 10, 9, 8, 7, 6?
Yes. Okay. Yes, I think that's a great way of putting it, actually.
Oh,
yeah.
Man, you really fucked my shit up then. I typed it exactly the opposite way.
Well, who do you got then on your honorable mentions?
Well, since you did it that way, I will also work my way up from the bottom.
All right.
My dead last, and I only have him dead last because he's not an in-ring performer, but I wanted to give him a shout out because of his great work. That's Pat McAfee. Then I've got Shayna Baszler. Sasha Banks is also on my list and near the bottom like yours. Sami Zayn I have very low because I don't give a fuck about Johnny Knoxville, and I genuinely wish he would do literally anything better. Sammy, that is. Then the Usos, Los Lotharios, Bianca Belair, Drew McIntyre, and then finally what would effectively be number 6 for me is Rhea Ripley.
Very cool. I like that, man. I like that a lot. That's great. Hey, welcome, McLean. Happy to see you. Oh, and happy birthday to you, McLean. My birthday's in 3 days. I'm glad to see we share a birthday month. And already taking out the banhammer as well.
Okay, you got this. I'll leave it to you.
Yeah. So great to see you, McLean. Anybody else that files in, just going to say hi, big hugs. So coming in at number 5 for me for the WWE Fave 5. And honestly, I think it's just because of the work he did very recently between his excursion to NXT and the Royal Rumble performance. AJ Styles. He's just so fucking good at what he does.
Yeah, that's true.
I still want to kind of traumatize him and take him up to a really high place so he sees the curvature of the earth. But that's probably never going to happen. And I wish Alan would put some EXP in, kind of dispelling that ignorance. But he's so fucking good at what I pretty much have a relationship with him about. That is being a wrestling fan and him being a wrestler.
Yeah.
I got to give the dude his props. Like, he's in his fucking 40s. He's been the top guy in every company he goes to. I honestly would have popped if he would have won the Rumble.
Same.
I think AJ's a guy that you could have him main event WrestleMania at any time, so long as he could still go, and it would be believable to me. It would absolutely be believable to me. I don't know how many more years this dude feels like he has, but anybody that got to witness AJ from beginning to end, and I can't lay claim to that, you're really fortunate, because I think you truly witnessed something, pun intended, phenomenal. So AJ comes in at number 5 for me. I'm curious who's number 5 for you, bud.
Well, make it real easy for you. Number 5 for me was one of your honorable mentions, your number 8, I believe, and that was Naomi.
Love it. What's she been doing for you to crack that top 5?
Really, just every time she gets a chance to perform, she knocks it out of the park. And the really unfortunate thing is that those chances are very few and far between. Her most likely, like if you see her on TV, which isn't guaranteed every week, but if it does happen, it's more likely in a speaking role where she's trying to get booked rather than actually seeing her in a match. And if she is in a match, it's most likely in something extremely unfair, meant to make it look like she has no shot, and then she loses anyway. So, just it's one of those things where I have been just enjoying seeing her every time. She kind of puts a smile on my face every time I see her on my TV, and I obviously am hoping for more from her, for her, I should say.
I think that was beautifully said, bro. I think on some level you even perfectly articulated like why I bench her, and I bench her not because of her, but because of me. Because I know investing in a performer like her without WWE dicks around is always going to leave me disappointed. So I think you gave fantastic voice to how good she is, and the problem being everything around her. That's why I can't even get hyped about her facing Charlotte next Friday for the SmackDown Women's Championship, because I'm like, well, you're already building it around Charlotte versus Rousey, and apparently maybe even Sasha, because they know Charlotte versus Rousey is going to be a shitter on its fucking own.
Yeah.
God, you know what? That's a separate rant. We're not here for that. So, great pick. Moving on to number 4 for me. Alpha Academy, just as a tag team.
Dude, they're my number 4 too.
Oh, excellent. I'll just go first really quick then. I don't want to step on your toes.
No, dude, they're the same number for both of us. We can both talk equally about them.
I just love them, man.
Yeah.
It was really. Here's the funny thing about Alpha Academy, and I think you can even remember this.
They're awesome.
Yes. And I think you can even vouch for me on this, because I don't even know if you remember our podcast when they first started. But my whole thought was like, oh, this isn't gonna last, because Chad's very clearly the heel. He's manipulating Otis, that sort of thing, and then Otis is gonna go back to being the fun-loving guy. I am so glad that they stuck with this, and I'm gonna go through multiple reasons here. One, I don't know if you ever saw the post that Chad did, I think on his Instagram, tagging Otis and being like how much this means to him, because apparently they trained together in the Olympics. Like, they were friends going way back. And
wow.
Chad was like, oh, he talked to Otis all the time. And he was like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if we lived together? Because he saw a property nearby, I guess, when they were driving or whatever. Otis calls him a week later and he tells him put in a bid for that property. And Otis would come over every day, dude, and they'd train their fucking asses off.
Wow.
And Chad was like, it'd be the most grueling training sessions I ever had. So these guys are like brothers, is what I'm trying to tell you. That's beautiful to me.
Yeah, it is.
On the more professional side, it's kind of a give and take, right? Because there is going to be a bit of a nitpick here. It's such a shame for Chad that he keeps getting put in tag teams, because I swear this dude could kill it in singles. But knowing the company we're in, where the glass half full comes in is, hey, John, he's a champion and he's on TV. Because at least people can see how good he is when he's on TV. And then the big plus here that I've been building up to, and then I'm going to hand the baton to you, I am so glad they stuck to this, because Otis is fucking money. Like, I only thought the dude was a really good, babyface, maybe even a good, comedy wrestler, mid-card. No, he is a menacing heel, and he's a believable heel. I loved that for Alpha Academy to even win these tag titles, they had Otis pin fucking Orton. And it's
Yep.
believable because look at him.
Yep.
Otis really made out well in this. And I'm telling you, I still, when they turn him back into a face, I could see him getting big pops. I still want to see him climb in there with Roman Reigns. Hell, fuck, dude. I know that he wouldn't win, and I know it might even be kind of a waste. Sometimes when I see Otis work, I'm like, do I want to see him in the ring with Brock Lesnar? Like, he has an energy about him that I'm like, put him in there with the top guys. So Otis really, like, yeah, it's Alpha Academy as a team because I fucking love Chad, but I really wanted to emphasize Otis for my part because the dude is so multifaceted that if he doesn't win a world title, WWE is wrong. I'm sorry. They're wrong because you could do it as a face or a heel and I'd buy it either way. But now it's your turn to speak. So the floor is yours, good sir.
I'm just really, this is one of those instances where they have been kind of, like you like to call it your bench. They've been kind of riding my bench for a long time, and they've finally been given something to do. And not only have they been given something to do, but they won the fucking titles. Like, they've finally, like, pulled the trigger on these guys and decided to actually give them a fucking run. And they are, again, as expected, knocking it out of the goddamn park. They're doing great. They're entertaining. They're really good at getting heat and then actually allowing that heat to pay off, which we're probably going to have a discussion about that later. And I just think that these guys are really, really good and really entertaining. And another one of those acts where when they're on my TV, I'm happy. I get in a good mood. I enjoy their presence on my television. So sometimes it's just that simple. Sometimes, you can give people all the credit in the world, but at the end of the day, when you're watching a product like WWE that in my personal case puts me in a bad mood on a weekly basis, and there's an act that puts you in a good mood, that sometimes is all you need to give them credit, you know?
Couldn't have said it better, my friend. So do I go again since we shared number 4? Should I just give my number 3 now?
Number 3.
Yep. Okay. Number 3, Tribal Chief Roman Reigns.
Nice. I didn't include Roman on my list at all because it's like, we get it. He's awesome. I feel like I wanted to put like a spotlight on new people that I haven't already given all the credit in the world to, kind of thing.
That is more than fair, which is why I want to be pretty succinct about this. And I just want to be succinct in just talking about the segment he did, where I guess Paul Heyman was talking about why he turned on Lesnar, I guess before Goldberg challenged him. And Heyman had like this whole thing where he's like, and when Roman extended his hand out to me, it was the hand of family. It was the hand of love. It was the hand of acknowledgement. And like he was building it up. And Roman's face is just like, yeah, I'm great. Like, he's just like, yeah, Paul, talk your truth. Like, I love this dude. Honestly, I hate that we seem to be on a course of like Brock Roman double title matchup because I fucking hate when WWE does this shit. And then they don't commit afterwards. It's like, okay, you have this. Commit with what this means. But honestly,
no,
Roman's been so good. Like, give him both the titles. Fuck it. As long as you make somebody out of this. That's all I ask. Fucking make somebody. I wish they'd fucking make Big E, but apparently his main event push is done for right now. Because whoever gets the rub off of all this, Jesus Christ. So yeah, Roman continues to knock it out of the park. That's all for me. So who's number 3 on your list?
Number 3 on my list is Mr. Rick Boogs, believe it or not.
Oh, I love it. Talk about it.
Yeah, again, like, the dude shows up on my TV and I pay attention. And that's another thing too. We are always playing games during Raw and SmackDown. So it's not just someone that shows up and I smile. It's someone that can draw my attention and make me actually stop playing a game or get lost in what's going on the TV while the game is going on in the background. That is when someone is special. And Rick Boogs is one of the very few guys right now that's doing that for me. And he shows up and I pay attention. He does his little intros for Nakamura, but I feel like lately he's been getting a little bit more kind of attention as a solo act. He's been in singles matches. Right before the Royal Rumble, the dude was in a singles match against fucking Shanky, and he deadlifted him onto his shoulder and power slammed him out of a pump handle position. It was awesome. It was the kind of feat of strength that you would have seen from John Cena before he got rocketed to the moon. Like back when he was still in like US title territory. Like,
right.
It's very exciting watching this dude at the ground level because I just know that he's going to be a huge fucking star. And there's also a massive part of me that loves that he's basically ripped Freddie Mercury right now with the fucking mustache looking the way, like Tom Selleck fucking mustache.
Bro, I say it all the time. This dude aesthetically could have thrived in any era.
Yeah.
I do have one question for you, though, because this is your number 3, and I want to keep the focus on you.
Yeah.
Since you are keeping your finger on the pulse better than me, would you say he shed a bit of that greenness that you and I were concerned about? Have you noticed any difference in how he works, or is it still the same match formula for him?
Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. It's hard to say because he hasn't really been asked to do anything that would expose him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I would say the biggest negative about him right now is that he is still a little bit on the slow side in the ring. Like he's still you can kind of tell that he's thinking about what to do next before he does it.
Right. Okay.
So he's not he's not in his pocket like we like to say yet.
Right. I'll tell you what, though, man. Aesthetically, they've got it fucking down. I even tweeted last night. It's so funny that he made your number 3 because, like, his old theme when he was still Eric Bugenhagen, I still shred to that shit. I was listening to that
blood
shit
pressure,
on a fucking
right?
loop last night. Yeah, blood pressure. I was listening to that on a loop before bed last night.
Wow.
It legitimately is a great fucking theme. And why? Because it's an actual theme. It's an actual guitar theme, and it's fucking dope. I love this dude. So that's why I asked, because I'll tell you, if he can really put it all together in the ring, dude, nobody stops him.
No.
Nobody. Like, that dude's going to be having stories like John Cena about it. Yeah.
Because, like, yeah. And then it was the same fucking thing with Cena, too. It was the same exact thing with Cena. With Cena, it was always like the dude can talk, the dude looks great, he's strong and can do these awesome feats of strength. Once he puts it together in the ring, it's over. And I don't think that he even had put it together in the ring by the time they pushed him to the moon. So if they're actually going to wait for Bugenhagen, it's fucking over.
Yeah, dude, this guy is going to be like John Cena in the sense that, like, oh, yeah, with my WWE career, I bought myself a house and I bought my mama a house, and it was fucking great.
Yeah.
And I have my own fucking life. Like, I always say a license for money with people. He might be one of the biggest ones because it's so unstoppable. But, yeah, great, dude. I love that he made your top 3. That's beautiful. All right, number 2 for me. You guys already fucking know. Seth fucking Rollins.
Whoa! I don't know who number 1 is now, though. I thought Seth would be your number 1.
You know, this is going to be very concerning for people to hear, but I'm me. If my toxicity had a personality, I would want it to be Seth Rollins.
There's no wanting about it. It just would be Seth Rollins.
Yeah. He's so good at being such a fucking asshole. Like, he makes it almost endearing, which, like, he's in the right country working for the right company where that's an asset. Hey, can you make being an asshole work to your benefit? Hell yeah, you're hired. Fucking, like, god damn. Dude, honestly, just seeing him compete, he's a fucking beast in ring. I don't think anybody's ever been able to take that away from Seth, even at his lowest. Dude's always been great in ring. But the fucking Rumble with the Shield music and the fucking mind games. And, you know, it's so funny because, like, they made a big thing in his first big heel run. We all know it, the Authority, this and that. We're like, oh, Triple H groomed him and this and that. This is probably the first time where it's like, you know, they always call Triple H the cerebral assassin. I'm like, you know, you really did take the mantle, kid. Good for you, because like I fucking loved it.
Michael Cole even called him the cerebral Seth Rollins during that entrance.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man, between that, the feud with Edge before that, like, if this is the year that Seth does get a world title again, and I don't know what the world title situation is going to be, because I think Mania is going to be a fucking clusterfuck, but again, that's a separate commentary. He'll absolutely deserve it. Seth will absolutely deserve another one with the world title. He has been putting in the fucking work. Put anybody at work against his. And I'm not saying there isn't competition, but he can hold his own even against the fiercest competition. Right. So yeah, he's been great. So who's next on your list, bud?
Number 2 on my list is Old Man Adam, Edge.
Oh, dude, I love that you rank that high because I thought he'd be like in a lull. Because I know he was in a lull for me because of the Miz feud, but what has he been doing for you to rank that high, bro? Let's talk about it.
Somehow, even during the Miz feud, I feel like his work has still been great. Like, he's in an absolute nothing feud, and yet he's still doing great work. He's still entertaining every week. He's still doing his thing. And, the whole thing with Beth was kind of cool. But even despite the fact that I wasn't overly into that, I've just still enjoyed his work over the last couple months.
I love that, man. And you know why I love that? Because I think you even said about Edge a few commentaries back, like it wasn't that long ago, that like you've never seen him phone it in. And
No.
I think even him going through that feud and you
I
still being
feel like that
yeah,
was during our reaction to the Rumble, because wasn't that during the reaction to the tag match involving Beth and Maurice?
It may very well have been, yeah. Yeah. And like that just makes your placement of Edge so perfect. And honestly, for him, I'm so happy for him because it shows that to him, there is no such thing as a nothing feud. When there was like not that long ago, he didn't have this fucking shit at all.
Yeah.
So again, good for him. Good for you. I love that. Number one for me, and even though there isn't much to say, I would still like to sing my praises. Bianca Belair. Again, so fucking good. And I don't know what the fuck is going on with the women's titles because apparently there was a thing where like Becky lied and said Ronda picked her and then Charlotte picked Sasha, but Ronda actually picked Charlotte. Like, I get a headache even thinking about it. I hope that Bianca's the one to take the title off Becky because her fanfare, even in spite of all of this, and I think a lot of her fans, myself included, were thinking, again, I don't know how we keep fucking doing this to ourselves, but like, oh, you know, maybe let it play out. And you know, she might not get her Mania moment, which would really fucking suck, but she deserves it. I think even the feud she had with Doudrop wasn't the worst it could have been, especially because we did get the visual of her doing a fucking KOD on Doudrop out of it.
Yeah.
I think she's everything you want. Like I even did a mini Twitter thread, right? Because I was watching like a shoot interview clip. That's the weird thing about me getting older. Because again, we had that conversation where we went live. Like you've got your finger on the pulse. You're watching a lot of wrestling. For me, I'm at the stage of my fandom now, getting older, where I do like to go and I like to watch the shoot interviews from like the Kevin Nashes, the Ric Flairs, even though I don't like them personally, just to poke their brain a little bit. And I'm watching this clip from like Harley Race and Bruno Sammartino talking about who the greatest world champion is. Bruno was like dunking on Flair hard. And they're talking about, you know, like what makes a top guy or whatever. And I'm like, you know, so much has changed, but the qualities that Bruno's like, they should make it look legitimate. They should bring class to it. And I'm like, yeah, that's fucking Bianca Belair, at least for women. I thought about, you know, Bryan Danielson for men. But Bianca Belair, absolutely. Like, she makes pro wrestling seem legitimate just with her feats of strength and just her athleticism. She brings a sense of class to it, like, you know, because she's strong, she's proud, you know, comes from, you know, an educated background because she excelled in school and everything. Like, she's that kind of role model character I think that any company would want.
She's every bit the role model that Bayley as a heel claims to be.
Yeah. And you know what the great thing about her is too, man, is like one of those top females is like there's no phoniness with her. Like you don't feel like any of the, you know, admirable aspects of her are contrived. And that's why I want her to get back on the top again, because I felt like when she was, like, she even had a bit of mainstream breaking out and a bit of mainstream appeal, and you know, she's still bringing it. So just all the love to her, and I'm so proud of her and her success, and I'm so happy that, you know, fans are able to rally around her, because I even saw a mom share her little girl's reaction to Bianca, like, not winning the Rumble. The little girl was so upset, and Bianca quote tweeted it, and she's like, "Oh, I feel you, baby girl. I really, really do." So she resonates with people, and it's so fucking wholesome and pure. And I don't know, I am a fucking softie at heart, right? I just got done talking about how if I was to be primo douchebag, I would hope it would be Seth Rollins. But I love good wholesome shit. And Bianca Belair and how much she is loved. It's good wholesome shit, and she deserves every ounce of it. So I hope she beats Becky at Mania. We'll have to see where that goes. But that rounds out my list. So who is number one for your list?
Do you have no clue whatsoever?
Honestly, I probably should, but I don't. I don't.
I was really hoping to get you to just guess as far as who you might think it is.
This is your time, man. Tell us who it is.
Well, instead of telling you, I think I'll just let you hear it. Oh, fuck you, ads! God damn it, this always happens. This happens every time, I swear to God.
I thought you hated Domino's Pizza as a heel turn. Wait, no fucking way. You went with Seth Rollins at number one?
I went with Seth, dude! I'll tell you why. First of all, his promos lately have been absolute fire. To the point that people thought he was shooting on Roman on the SmackDown before Rumble. Like, that's how good his promos have gotten, that people thought that he was shooting.
Oh, and wow, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, dude, like people were talking on Twitter like, "Oh man, Seth really fucked Roman up there. He flustered him. Roman like didn't know how to respond and stuff like that." And it's like, you guys realize this is how this stuff's written, right? Like this isn't a shoot. This isn't like the fucking Cena shit where Roman legitimately forgot his line and Cena was like, "Go ahead and find it, kid. I'll wait." That's not what this was. This was just a really well executed promo. But yeah, Seth's been absolutely killing it. And I will say, the real tiebreaker here, because I've kind of known that Seth, Edge, and Rick were going to be my top three for a while now. I just haven't
Yeah.
really, I didn't decide on who would be number one until literally, well, technically today, but in my brain, Royal Rumble sealed it. When this motherfucker used the Shield theme as a troll, and I still loved him for it, like, yeah, this dude has my number one spot on lock for a while, I think.
I fucking love it, man. I already said my piece at number 2, so that rounds out our WWE list. Now we're moving on to NXT. Since I gave honorable mention to start for WWE, I know you go first on NXT.
Oh,
So
nice. Okay. Again, working my way up from the bottom the way you do. Robert Stone, Amari Miller, the Creed brothers, Trick Williams, Diamond Mine, Saray, Braun Breaker, Cora Jade, Gigi Dolan, and then we enter what would be my top 10. Grizzled Young Veterans, Wendy Chu, Duke Hudson, Legado del Fantasma, and Dakota Kai.
awesome. All right. For me, I have got at number 5, Saray. Just great seeing her back. 4, Walter.
I'm
3, the Creed brothers. 2, Andre Chase. And 1, Tony D'Angelo.
Wow, that is a very interesting honorable mentions list. I'm very curious who you omitted from your Fave Five. That won't make sense to me. Um, so what do we do? We do me? Do I do number 5 next?
Yeah, you could do number 5 next, man. That's fine.
Andre Chase.
Dude, that's fucking awesome.
I said it in the exact same tone you did because it's equally mystifying to me. No,
Yeah.
I really, it just comes down to the entertainment factor. Every time the dude's on, like, the whole, like, that is a teachable moment thing, it's getting over with the crowd. Like, I even said it in our last NXT review, this dude is over in the good way, like in the way that you want to be over, in a sustainable way, not in just like a, oh, I have this catchphrase that people like kind of way, but like in the way that you can create catchphrases out of nothing because people latch onto every fucking thing you say. Like, that's the kind of over that he is, and that's a special kind of over. And like we were talking about, oh, Rick Boogs is really something special to watch right now because he's kind of learning and growing and this really impressive prospect, but he's not really in his pocket yet. Andre Chase is in his fucking pocket, and he has been for a while, and he's absolutely killing it on NXT.
Dude, I love it. I love that he's coming around for both of us. You clearly harder than me, but honestly, for him to even be number 2 in my honorable mentions, like,
Yeah.
Who knows? He very easily next cycle could break my Fave 5 in NXT because it's just such a different landscape now since it's out of the black and gold.
You know, it's
era.
kind of funny now that you actually say that because it makes me realize that he has kind of similarly goofy, silly, over-the-top energy to Seth Rollins.
Yeah, he kind of does actually. Fuck. Number 5 for me. Oh, grizzled young veterans comprised of Zach Gibson and James Drake.
Why do you do that every time?
Because I can, sir. Is that all the reason I need?
Do you just love saying Drake the way you do? And that's why you feel the need to really go out of your way to say their names every time you say the name of the tag team?
Ashton, life is nothing but a constitution of simple pleasures. And this is indeed a simple pleasure for me.
Okay. That's good to know. I'll keep that in mind.
But yeah, I fucking love these guys. I love I loved the vignettes of them like learning how to cheat better. After they
never went anywhere.
That apparently never went anywhere, but I still enjoyed them. I mean, and that's kind of what this is about, right? Like what makes us pop.
Yeah.
So, made me pop. After they advanced to the first round and they cut the backstage promo, I watched that promo maybe like 5-6 times because I love the intensity.
That was one of the early Wendy Chu appearances too.
Yeah. I fucking love their theme. So the packaging's great. And as a tag team, now here's the thing. I like the double team finish a Ticket to Ride. But this new thing they've got going on, which I hope they do again, that double fucking code breaker with a knee from each team member, fucking sick. I don't think I've popped for a double team finish like that in a long time, since at least I would say the Shatter Machine, when FTR were like the revival.
Yeah.
I think it's fucking great. It's sudden. You can hit it on like a big tag team. They've got everything, and I just want them to win the fucking titles, for fuck's sake. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I love them, and they remind me why I love tag team wrestling, because I don't think anybody's doing it like them right now. And it's a shame that apparently the people that disagree are the only people that can really do anything about it, and that's NXT. So GYV at number 5 for me.
Well, from hopefully one half of the Dusty Classic finals to the other, my number 4 is MSK.
All right.
I feel like I've run out of things to say about these guys. They are like an injection of energy and life into the NXT product whenever they're on, especially when they get matches, which is, I feel like, far too infrequent these days. And I feel like you could put them just about anywhere and they'd be the same thing. They're just exciting and fun, and I just enjoy watching them do their thing, and they're really good at it, and especially Wesley. If I had to rank them as individuals, Wesley would probably be like number 2 or 3, and Nash Carter wouldn't even rank. But MSK as a unit, because Wesley is in it, end up at number 4.
I agree with everything you said, really. No disagreement from me. All right. So number 4 for me, Santos Escobar. Oh my God. This fucking king. I mean, I've called him daddy enough, right? We're all comfortable with it.
Yeah.
He's daddy material through and through. I love that he's getting the respect that he deserves, finally getting a world title angle, which honestly, if we're keeping it real, should have happened forever ago. I would have bought it happening while he was Cruiserweight champion, for fuck's sakes, because he was putting out fucking bangers for that championship. He's great. He's great. And my biggest fear is he's never going to achieve the success in WWE that I think he deserves to achieve, because I just think their vision for the company is so contrary to what Santos brings to the table. And I hope everybody understands that that's the furthest thing from a put down on Santos, because I think this dude could fucking make it anywhere. I just don't think WWE is going to see that. But you know what? If he's happy with the work he's doing, if he's happy with, the money he's bringing home to his family, and if he feels like he's setting a good example for his son, because, we see that closeness, and I fucking love that too. That's all that matters. I love watching this dude on my TV. I listen when he fucking talks, because with a lot of WWE programming, even the stuff that we're still covering, like, you got to work to keep my attention. Santos always has my attention. I kick myself when I miss his segments, just like Malcolm, because they're 2 of my favorite talkers in the company, along with other people that I do have on my list, but we'll get to that. But yeah, he's the complete fucking package, man, and still the best suicide dive in the business for my money. So yeah, Santos coming in at number 4. Who's next on your list?
Well, my number 3 is a pretty obvious one. I feel like I've had 2 pretty obvious ones in a row, actually, with MSK, and now number 3, Cameron Grimes.
Oh, I'm actually surprised he's number 3 for you. It makes me curious about your top 2.
I was going to say, you'll be less surprised when you see who my number 2 is, because you'll know immediately. Once you know who my number 2 is, you'll know immediately who my number 1 is as well.
I think we probably share the same number 1 if I had to guess. But yeah, we'll get to that.
I highly doubt that.
Interesting.
I don't think you've ever had my number 1 as your number 1. Maybe one time as like a show of respect. But
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, my number 3 is Cameron Grimes. I mean, I will say I feel like his promos haven't been quite as fire lately as they were for the months leading up to this current rating period, but I'm just very happy that he's finally in a major title program and that he's not just fucking around with undercard feuds, basically building character rather than actually trying to win titles and having great matches. His match with Duke Hudson, which I believe occurred during this grading period, was excellent. And yeah, he's just one of those guys that just entertains me. Like his music hits and I'm like, oh, here we go. Now I gotta pay super close attention because something cool's about to happen. That kind of thing. And he pays it off.
Absolutely.
He pays it off. So.
Well said. Well said. Number 3 for me, Braun Breaker.
Oh, nice.
I'm loving how he's fucking developing, especially as a promo. Because I know on the one episode of NXT where he cut his first promo as NXT champion, I went out of my way to say how much I liked it, where he's like, when everybody's left the gym, like, I'm still training. When you're leaving the arena, I'm staying because I'm the NXT champ. Like, he really marked his territory. And my God, already so early, it's like, yeah, WWE's got their next top guy. They absolutely have their
or at least
guy.
one of.
Hell, one of, because I think they also want to do the same with like Austin Theory and stuff like that. Like, again, WWE has a vision. That's why I said about Santos, like, I just don't have a lot of faith that he's going to get what he wants. But the positive of that is, if there is any positive to disrespect such a daddy, is that their vision isn't entirely awful. Because if you push a guy like Braun Breaker, who I think is genuinely entertaining, I mean, hell, dude, when he won all that time ago, the War Games advantage in that ladder match, I can't tell you the people that I saw screenshot that image and be like, "Oh, this is Money in the Bank in like 3 years or whatever."
Oh, that's cool.
I think
Cool.
I think a lot of people can see it, man. I think a lot of people can see it. I can certainly see it. And yeah, I'm enjoying his title run. I'm interested to see how he'll work with Santos, because I think Santos will give him one of his best matches early on in his reign as champion. And I'm just looking forward to still see him grow. The fucking match with Ciampa for the title where he won with the fucking recliner, I popped. Like, it was great. It was New Year's Evil. That New Year's Evil match was fucking great. So yeah, Braun Breaker, man, he's just doing it for me right now. So just wanted to give him that nod. Who's next on your list?
Number 2 on my list. This is the one that you probably or maybe weren't expecting, and maybe this is who you thought I had at number 1. I don't know. Number 2, Carmelo Hayes.
Okay, so we don't have the same number 1. All right, because I will just say now, yeah, Carmelo Hayes is my number 1. We'll get to that.
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured. I've been really, really enjoying this dude's work. Promos have just been fire again. Every time I hear him talk, especially now as a heel, where he's being more deliberate with his words and really, like, he's making an effort to sound intimidating, and it's like it works. It doesn't feel forced. He really reminds me of Fernando Vera from Mr. Robot, who's like one of my favorite villains ever in a show. And like his in-ring work is obviously exceptional. His little duo with Trick is great. I feel like the worst thing, and maybe the only reason that he wasn't my number 1 about him lately, is the association with Ollie J and randomly fucking shoehorning her into their fucking promos. So yeah, Carmelo is my number 2, but he very easily could have been my number 1 because I really do enjoy pretty much everything that he's been doing.
I'm gonna be fucking really quick for this next one, and obviously you guys already know my number 1. And number 2 is Cameron Grimes. I think everything you fucking said was on point. I love his in-ring. I think his promos are fucking great. I will admit there are times that I miss PWG promo level Grimes, but I think it really is a testament to how good he is on the stick, where he doesn't have to drop F-bombs and he still cuts some of the best promos in the fucking locker room. He's fantastic. The sooner he wins championships, the better it is for whatever brand he's on. Enough said. Who's number 1 on your list?
Number 1 on my list is Io Shirai. That hasn't changed.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, I gotta ask, man. I'm asking this sincerely. Did she do a lot during this grading period?
Well,
I feel like
she did just recently have a match. God, honestly, I don't even remember who the match was against. I know she did recently have a match, and like, I think the hype for the Rumble really like stirred up my anticipation to see more of her, because I was expecting her and Dakota to be in the Rumble. But really, at the end of the day, this is really just about like her presence, and because she has been on TV occasionally, she has had the backstage segments with Zoe Stark. She just had the match with Tiffany Stratton, I believe. I think that's what it was actually.
Yeah, that's right.
So like, it's not like she's been nowhere. It's not like she hasn't been doing anything. It's just that she hasn't been doing as much lately.
Right.
Let me look something up really, really quickly just to make sure that I'm not tripping here. Okay, yeah. War Games, which was a match that Io was a part of, took place during this grading period.
Okay. Yeah. I should have seen it coming. Yeah, because I know your love for Io is forever. Like, she's your ride or die in wrestling, or at least one of your rides or die. Like,
pretty much, yeah.
I love that. I love that though. You guys already know my number 1, because I already said it, because it was actually number 2, Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah.
All I will say I swear to fucking God, NXT 2.0, if you go any deeper with this Ollie J bullshit and you saddle her with him or anything like that, and it goes beyond the references or whatever, in the words of Heelbook, I will physically kill you. Like, no, this dude has got it perfect right now. Hell, even Trick Williams has been upping his game on this stick. Their synergy has gotten even stronger to me. So you know what you do with that? You let it run. You don't add anything else. You don't invite another cook to the kitchen. This dude is so fucking good. And not like, he is the perfect package of like, I can talk all the shit I'm going to do. And then, oh, look at me in the ring. I can actually fucking do it. Like, that's what everybody, I think, loved about the Mr. Perfects or the Jake Roberts like that. They'd cut the great fucking promo, and then they'd go out in the ring and they'd do their fucking thing, and it was believable. Or a Stone Cold even, or a Rock. Like, the people that can work the stick and work the ring with the same intensity, those are the guys that make it. And especially when you have a great look like he does, especially, by today's standards, again, we're far removed from like the 80s and 90s. Like, yeah, this dude could be a world champion and I'd buy it. I can't wait for this dude to start main eventing takeovers. I'll keep saying that I hope he takes the North American Championship to the main event of, well, maybe I shouldn't even say takeover anymore, because we already kind of talked about the future takeovers, but at least like these NXT specials. I'd like to see a North American Championship match be the main event of one of these. I think Cameron and fucking Carmelo could be such a main event. He's untouchable right now, and I swear, like, if they try and put some bullshit on him with this Ollie J stuff, who is completely irrelevant, that is going to tank him, because he should be focused on talking about himself, talking about his championship, and talking about the people coming for his championship. You keep him in that sphere, you keep him focusing on me, the things that interest me, and the people that threaten the things that interest me. That's wrestling. That's every character. You keep what a character should be, he'll take care of the rest. It's that fucking simple. So yeah, number one, easily the best thing for me on NXT 2.0. And awesome. Just wanted to give him his flowers there. So we move on to New Japan.
Yes. This, I think, is far and away my shortest list out of everything.
Dude, I mean, all my lists are the same length, but like in spirit, I would say same, honestly. I would absolutely say same about that. So I will go first on honorable mentions, and I will also give the first number 5 after you give your honorable mentions. But to start, number 5, Great-O-Khan.
Okay.
4, Ishii. 3, this might surprise some people. I mean, maybe not too much. Hiroshi Tanahashi. Yeah, I gave him the nod on something. 2, Kenta. 1, Naito.
Okay.
So, who is your honorable mentions for New Japan?
Oh damn! I thought I had 5 as well, but I do have 6 of these. At the bottom of my honorable mentions, just a guy that I like to give credit to, because every time we see him, I enjoy him, and I'm like, damn, this guy's good. Master Wato is on my honorable mentions.
Nice, dude.
He's so fucking good, man. Every time we watch New Japan, I'm like, this guy's so good. And they treat him like a joke with like the blue hair and shit, but he's a really good wrestler. Then I've got Zack Sabre Jr., Tomohiro Ishii, Sho, Kenta, and my closest guy to almost being on the list, and I literally had him on my list until I remembered the name of someone that I should have on my list, and then I had to take him off my list, Jeff Cobb.
Very interesting. All right, so number 5 for me, and you know what? Why I fucking love these, like I told Ashton, dude, if you had 500 on your honorable mention, name them. I just want us to celebrate wrestling. I don't care to be anal or rigid with rules. I had Malcolm Bivens be the number 1 on an NXT list. So to me, anything goes. And in that spirit, even though he did one fucking thing, he made number 5.
Me too.
Shibata.
Yes, same here. Yes.
Because fuck the rules. Fuck this idea of like, they only did one thing in the great... I'll eat my whole fucking ass.
The whole thing.
The whole fucking thing.
Including the whole thing.
Exactly. And then in one bite so that you choke on it. This fucking dude. Like, I love him. And you know what? I'm doing it fucking right this time. Because I said all the time, oh, Ashton, it's a shame that he's gone because I didn't appreciate him enough while he was here. Well, then if I said it, I'm going to walk it like I talk it, and I'm going to celebrate this fucking dude every chance I get that's relevant. And hell, maybe even when I'm in a fucking mood, like I'm known to do, I'll even celebrate him when it's not relevant. I'll be like, oh, hey, how fucking great is Shibata? Dude, we're talking about the conflict in the Middle East. I know, but I just want to talk about how fucking great Shibata is. This dude is amazing. He's
I'm making up for lost time, damn it. Let me have this.
Exactly. This dude could have died. He lived. He was like, oh yeah, fuck that hematoma. Fuck whatever happened to me. And not only was he like, fuck whatever happened to me, and he's like, oh, I'm alive, that's all, while we're all crying our fucking eyes out. He's like, oh yeah, I still want to wrestle. Like, I still fucking love this. If there's such a thing, and you guys will have to forgive me, I have been on a very heady journey lately, reading a lot of good fucking shit. If there's such a thing that we can call a wrestler's life, I've seen two people in my life live it with such fidelity and devotion as to be awe-inspiring. Daniel Bryan Danielson now, and fucking Shibata. This dude, if there is such a thing as a wrestler's life, this dude fucking lives it. And he makes it look fucking cool and fucking badass, and I would even say respectable, and maybe even honorable, which I feel like we have strayed so far from in the U.S. scene. His grappling with, who the fuck was it even against, dude? Was it
Narita?
Oh, that's right, Narita. I was trying to think because I knew the last name was N, but it wasn't coming to me. Yeah, Ren Narita. I thought it was fantastic. And Ren Narita, for his part, kudos to him because, even he kept me engaged for his stuff.
But low-key, I almost put Narita in my honorable mentions for that match alone.
Yeah. Just to see Shibata do his fucking thing, and it still looks so good. New Japan is so lucky to have him, and I know he had the whole redemption arc where, he left them when he needed them, and like it's when really been a crazy fucking run. Beg pardon?
They needed him.
Exactly. And it's been this whole like crazy journey for him, but I feel like not only has he gotten his redemption, now I want him to get the one thing that I think he's deserved for a long time, and that's the world fucking title. And I'll tell you, if he does it, I don't care. Like, I'll never forgive the headbutt, and I wish it never happened. But if we're being truthful, the Shibata Okada match was fucking amazing. And I want to see them run it back sans the fucking headbutt this time. Because you don't fucking need it. The match is already a fucking classic without it. This dude is an artist, and he makes fucking masterpieces. And I'm talking about him like he should have been number one. Maybe he should have been. But, like, I'm making up for lost time. You said it best. But I know, again, you've been riding this train longer than I have. I want you to give your flowers too. So, sir, I will cede the floor to you, my good man.
Oh yeah,
talk about Shibata.
It's just a fucking miracle that he's even still here. Like, I mean, the fact that he lived, he beat the odds there. The fact that he was able to get cleared to the point that he could work in a quote unquote grappling match was a fucking miracle in his own right. And then he said, nah, fuck that. I don't want to hold back. We're having a real wrestling match right now. And it happened in the spur of the moment. It was the coolest thing ever. I fucking love Shibata. He is probably forever going to go down as one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, even though I only really got to witness him for like 2, maybe 3 full years.
Yeah, easily the best thing about Wrestle Kingdom. And I'm talking the whole thing, all 3 days. Like,
yeah, that's fair.
I'm gonna remember this for so long, and I'm so privileged that we got to witness this.
Yeah.
So number 4 for me, I'll try and be more succinct about that one. Actually, really happy about this. Somebody that was on your honorable mentions, Jeff Cobb.
Nice.
I gotta tell you, man, my respect for him went through the roof, knowing that he had such a fucking good match with Naito when he was working hurt. And like, kudos to Naito. That's why he was number 1 on my honorable mentions, because he's like right there. He's just never been able to get over that hurdle with me. I don't know. Because like you could argue that he did a lot of the working over the leg and making it look, good and everything. And I give Naito all the props for that. But Cobb still being able to do his power stuff and still being able to be Jeff Cobb with that kind of injury, he's so fucking good. This is the run in New Japan that I always wanted him to have. Him being a heel, I may not care for the Empire, for obvious reasons, Ospreay and shit. but it's been a good thing for Cobb. Being heel has been a good thing for Cobb, and just being able to be a powerhouse has been a great thing for Cobb. He is an incredible fucking athlete. I'd still like to see him get some New Japan hardware. And yeah, I love that Wrestle Kingdom match. I think, again, as far as matches go, again, Shibata was the best thing all 3 nights. But I would honestly put Cobb Naito even in my top 3, honestly. I thought they worked a really fucking good match. And yeah, Cobb he's really opened my eyes this time around, because for so long in his New Japan run, I'm like, yeah, he's good, but I don't know, I kind of miss Matanza. And I think this is the closest we're going to get to Matanza without, all the mythology and killing people.
Dude, I was actually just
totally
about
fine.
to say, too, thank you, Lucha Underground, for putting this dude on the fucking map.
Yeah, 100%.
If not for Lucha Underground, this dude doesn't get booked by PWG. If not for Lucha Underground and PWG, he doesn't get signed to Ring of Honor. If he doesn't get signed to Ring of Honor, he doesn't get featured by New Japan. And now look where he is in New Japan.
Exactly.
Like, this dude's a former never openweight champion, for fuck's sakes. He's a former Ring of Honor TV champion. He probably should have been a Ring of Honor world champion, but I don't think they ever pulled the trigger on that. Because, of course, it's Ring of Honor. They never pull triggers.
Yeah, exactly. So, Jeff Cobb's just been killing it, but who's next on your list?
Well, that would be Cobb's Wrestle Kingdom opponent that you were talking about, did a lot of the work in their match, Naito.
Fucking awesome. Anything new you want to say about Naito? Because I know your fandom for him goes a long way.
It does go deep. And I will say the match that you were just talking about is a big reason why he ended up on my list at all. Just a great fucking performer, man. Just the idea that Cobb and Naito went into that match knowing that Cobb had that bad wheel, and Naito was just like, oh, that's fine, I'll work heel. It's like, okay, that works. And yeah, it was literally, dude, we even talked about it. It was our second favorite match of the entire Wrestle Kingdom event.
Yeah, dude.
And we didn't even really know that he had a bad wheel at the time. And the fact that he did makes the match even better in my mind.
Oh, it does. At 100, like, dude, he really embodies the Tranquilo character. Like, he's just so, like, not, bothered by anything. Like, oh yeah, I'll take care of him. We'll still have a great fucking match. And you did. Like, fuck. Yep. So good. Good.
All right, who's your number 3, pal?
Sonata. Fucking
nice.
Sonata. Again, guys, in my more snobbish and let me do a wrestling essay moments, I have said that I feel like Sonata and Ibushi, I remember that big speech I went on, how Sonata and Ibushi to me represent 2 different paths that pro wrestling, particularly in New Japan, could take. And I always said that, like, I enjoy the Ibushi style. I do. Like, I'd be a fucking liar if I said otherwise. But I hope that pro wrestling takes on Sonata's image in the decades to come. Because I will continue to say that this dude, in his own way, is just as exciting as an Ibushi with, I think, significantly less risk. I think he's the closest thing to, like, a Bret Hart or even a Randy Orton, if you want a closer, like, modern parallel, because I know a lot of people make comparisons between the 2 of them, Bret and Randy, in that locker room, like, everything he does looks so good, and he's taking care of his opponent out there. I do not fucking know why this dude has not been given the fucking world title. I'm going to be honest, the idea that Evil got to be a world champion before Sonata, I'm just that type of guy where I will always have my bitterness about some things, and that, I think, is one. If Shibata didn't fucking happen, I'd be clamoring for Sonata to win G1 this year, but I think the story really should go to Shibata if you just want to do quintessential pro wrestling. But this dude needs to get his fucking flowers eventually. I'm really getting sick and tired of waiting. I'm getting sick and tired of giving the same speech about how he deserves to main event, he deserves to be world champion, because you guys know that already. At least you know that I feel that already. I just want New Japan to know that, because his match with Great Khan at Wrestle Kingdom was fucking awesome. And the reason why I gave it to Sonata is because I do feel like a lot of it comes from him. How he bumps, how he executes his move, just how he does his share of the work, just in general. He's so consistent, one of the most constant performers, you'll see in New Japan, and I just think he deserves the world. So Sonata definitely cracking my top 3 for this one. Who's next on your list?
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Number 3 on my list, though, is the Murder Grandpa, Minoru Suzuki.
Awesome.
Yeah, I mean, really, at this point, what else is there to say about him? He's fucking incredible. He makes pro wrestling feel real again. He, he brought strong style to AEW in one of my favorite matches of 2021. Yeah, I don't even know what else to say. He's just awesome, and I wish New Japan did more with him, honestly, because I still, even just now, having seen how little he was given to do at Wrestle Kingdom, I feel like they're underusing him, and it's like the dude's like 53 or 54 years old, and I should probably not expect him to do that much, but like he's just that fucking good that I just want him to do everything.
Yeah, yeah, 100%. I'll just say right now that Suzuki was number 2 for me,
Oh,
and
perfect.
yeah, you said everything perfectly, and we've talked about Suzuki so much on here. Which, if that's not a sign of
Wait,
respect for what
do
he's
we
done,
have the same number one? I hope so. I hope we have the same number one.
dude, I think in this case we do. I
Yeah,
hope we do too.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, we've talked about Suzuki so much. There's nothing else to say. He is a true pro wrestling legend. And when I just talked about the bitterness and stuff with Sonata, I think my number one bitterness as far as it goes to Japanese wrestling, the idea that this man still has never even gotten a 1 month reign with the IWGP Heavyweight title.
yeah,
Shame on you, New Japan.
yeah.
Shame on like honestly, for real, like shame on you. That's a disgrace. There's no reason for that. You give it to fucking Evil, and I think he might have even held it for more than a month, maybe a little over. I don't think his reign was that long, to be fair, but still, he held it over Suzuki, and he held it for like a pretty decent length of time relative to his talent level. What the
Yeah.
fuck are you doing?
I mean,
I
shit,
don't.
dude, at least with Sonata not being in Evil spot, we could make the argument of like, oh, Sonata was super hot as a babyface at the time. They didn't want to turn him, and that's why it went to Evil instead of Sonata. But like, if your goal is to make a top heel, Suzuki's right fucking there. What are you doing? What are you waiting for?
Literally, what are you doing? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. So, nothing more to say than that. But number one, you
Wait, I
go
haven't given
first.
my number two yet. I haven't
Oh,
given my
you
number
haven't
two
given.
yet.
That's right. Because Suzuki was your number 3. So, who is your number 2?
Well, I was actually going to say it's interesting because if we do have the same number one, then we will have shared a top three because your number two was my number three and your number three was my number two because I have Sonata at number two.
Oh, that's so fucking awesome. Oh, I love that.
So yeah, I fucking love Sonata. I personally, I am a huge fan of the golden beard when he rocks it. I think that is his best look. He looks more like a main eventer with that look than he does with any other look, in my opinion. I think it looks awesome. I think he looks awesome. I think that his athleticism and the fact that he's able to use it in almost like a robotic safe way is super impressive, and that's what I think of when I think of Sonata too. Like the dude is like a literal wrestling machine. Like his movements aren't necessarily stiff like a robot, but they are very precise and deliberate like a robot. Like this dude, you can watch 100 clips of him going over the top rope and then springboard drop kick and it looks the exact same every fucking time, and it's just as breathtaking every fucking time. He is a machine. And like the slingshot crossbody, same exact thing. He has like his moves are muscle memory to the point of repetition, and it is incredible, and I love it. And like you said, his moves are really impressive and cool looking and fun in every match, even though he has a move set. It's not like he's doing different moves all the time, constantly in every match. He has a move set that he sticks to, but it's so good and so impressive because he is this freak of an athlete that it doesn't even bother you that he's doing the same moves in every match because it's that fucking cool and he's that good at it. And again, coming back to what you said, it's safe. Like there's not really that much. Like obviously he could slip off the top rope from springboarding, but anyone could. AJ Styles literally did in Chikara and made a storyline out of it, right? But like none of the shit that he does is unsafe to his opponent, which I think is the more important thing, right? Like obviously you want to keep yourself safe, but if you hurt yourself, well, damn, that sucks. I hurt myself. But if you hurt your opponent, that is like next level shitty. Like that's worse in my mind. So main thing, Sonata, awesome move set, awesome sort of muscle memory type execution in the sense that like every time he does an awesome move, it looks just as awesome as it did the last time you saw him do it. And I love that he is a safe worker. And he's just charismatic as hell, and he's got a great look. There's so much to love, and I completely agree with you, John. Put the world title on this motherfucker, please. I think it would be interesting if Shibata wasn't quite ready for the full G1 schedule this year. If he had like a representative in the G1, maybe it is Narita, or maybe it's like a Carl Fredericks because of the whole US dojo thing or whatever. And then you could have Sonata win the damn thing. You know what I mean?
Dude, I love this Sonata solidarity we got going on.
Hell
Fuck
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
This is an agenda I can get
Well, and
behind.
I almost feel like I have to make up for last year, because last year we agreed that the G1 winner was either going to be Okada or Sonata, and I was fully behind Okada as the G1 winner, while you got behind Sonata, and I was like, no, 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 Sonata's great, but we need fucking stability. We need Okada, and it worked. Now I'm putting my weight behind Sonata. Let's fucking do this year.
We are so happy to have you. For real, like, fuck yeah.
And speaking of the G1 winner of 2021.
Yes. Yes, my number one, your number one.
Kazuchika Okada.
The beautiful thing about Okada is that he's very rich. But beyond that...
I thought you were going to say it was his face.
He is immaculate, facially. No,
facially.
This fucking king finally knows what it means to be Tanahashi, because he might have just saved this company. Because he's like, all right, not only am I going to win the world title back, I'm going to make sure that Ocean Spray doesn't win it, and that he could go and delete his Twitter account again. Which I'm surprised he didn't after Kenny's latest clap back to him, but that's a separate story. He's so fucking good. Like, I will tell you, I've seen a few top guys, in my time. I know you have too. He might be my favorite top guy of all time. Because, like, my God, man, like, who the fuck is going to take it from him? And who the fuck is going to tell him that he shouldn't even have it? Like, that fan poll you showed me, you could make an argument that, like, spiritually, Tanahashi is still the top guy, and a lot of fans are like that.
Yeah.
That's totally valid. And then, like, Naito behind him, which is crazy. But, like, you know what, though? That's not even to hate on Okada, because the dude earns his fucking keep. Like, I'm not about to be like, oh, see, Okada, you don't belong there. Nah, the bumps this fucking dude takes, his match quality, his confidence, his character, like, perfect packaging. Perfect packaging. This is the one time where, like, I understand the fans and I respect the fans. I can't hate the company, though, for the horse that they want it back, and that's so rare for me, because I'm usually so pro-fan and, like, just go with what they want. Like, why are you fighting Brian? Why are you fighting this one? Why are you fighting that one? But I can't muster up, like, oh, no, Okada sucks, because I'd be lying to myself. We'd all be lying to ourselves. This dude is unfucking touchable. It's amazing to me. I don't know if he can have, like, a bad match with anyone. I think Okada's worst match he could have with someone is still better than a lot of people's best match. And that's horrifying to me. So, fuck, hold the belt for another fucking 9 months, King. Who the fuck is going to tell you you can't? And you know what? Fuck it. I stand the money clip. You know what? I've come around. I'm not even going to resist that anymore. Nah, man. Fucking beat him with it. And then the people that are like, but I wanted to see a Rainmaker. Oh, I'm sorry. I checked the net worth cumulatively of this territory, and it was just a tad too low for that.
Dude, I was just going to say, maybe you should have bought a ticket to a higher level show.
And see, like, the last thing, because I have to have a little bit of John throughout this commentary, of course. Otherwise, I'd be too mentally healthy, and God knows I can't put an effort on that. Like, if he was that way in real life, like, if he did even say in an interview, he'd be like, I hate working in front of poor districts. Like, I would want to be so mad. He might be the only person in fucking history that I'd be like, he's got a point. Maybe get out of that poverty. And, like, that's so awful. But he's so good. Like, I'm kind of a slut that way. Okada's really made me see it. Like, I don't think I've ever had Okada as number one, so I had to at least make it worthwhile. And, like, thank you, King. Thank you for beating Ospreay when I was terrified he wouldn't. I vividly remember our preview predictions. He proved me wrong. And that's why my idea of Rich is having, like, I don't know, $30 in my checking account, and he's Okada. That's the difference. So anything you have to add, sir, because I know it'll be more substantive and sensible than the past 3 minutes coming out of my mouth. Please talk about why Okada.
I just love that you told me earlier when I said that I'm fully behind Sonata winning the G1 this year. Oh, it's nice to have you on board. Well, all, John, welcome to the Money Clip Fan Club.
I feel so much richer already. It's amazing.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, he's the best. Period. Let's move on to Stardom.
Yeah. Oh wow, keeping that's. I love it though. I love it though. All right. Yeah. You go. You go first in honorable mentions, and I go, and then you give your first number 5. So
Okay, I'm gonna
let's do
start
it.
at the bottom like always. Micah, Saki Kashima, Lady C, Hanan, Momo Kogo, Mayu Iwatani, Utami Hayashishita, Tam Nakano, Tekla, Mirai, Natspoi, Hazuki, Azumi, and Himeka.
This is always the hardest, especially with my new system. This is one case where I will say, because I even told Ashton, it's like, oh, but John, what if I bring up a name to you and it's like, whatever. And I'm like, oh, well, I guess I should have made a stronger impression. I just want everybody to know I love all of you equally except Saida. And, this isn't anything personal at all. So, number 5, Hanan. 4, Tam Nakano. 3, Micah. 2, Julia. 1, Mirai.
Wow!
So, who cracked the top 5 for your for your
Damn!
Stardom list?
Holy
Yeah.
shit!
Yeah, curious who your top 5 was, because I think we both kind of struggled with this one.
Well, I will say my number 5 was Julia.
Excellent. Yeah. All right.
It is so good to have her back. Her match with Konami to close the year out, I think, was a legitimate match of the year candidate. Their little tributes to Hana in there were absolutely beautiful. They were both in tears by the end of the match. And Julia, ever since, has just been on fire. She's been having great matches. She just had an amazing match with Mayu where they fucking killed each other. She's been leading this new sort of trio of DDM with Mirai and Tekla. Mirai made both of our honorable mentions. I'm assuming Tekla is pretty high up in your Fave 5. We'll see. But yeah, I've just absolutely been loving Julia's work lately, so she is number 5 on my list.
All right, it's actually funny that you kind of closed out that way, because number 5 for me is Tekla.
Oh, nice. That's cool. Okay, I'm surprised you had her down that low. I genuinely thought she'd be in your top 2. I really, really did.
Yeah, you know what, dude? I thought so too for a time. But again, like, why this is always going to make it hard, and what I mean by that is putting together a Stardom list. Even if I didn't put the constrictions on myself, even with honorable mentions, even if I had a totally open honorable mentions, it would still be so fucking hard. I love that locker room, and it's so talented.
Yeah.
Tekla is an amazing gaijin to happen to them. I love that she's SWA champion.
Yes.
I'm telling you, Stardom has got momentum right now. More people are talking about them. I think more people are subscribing to them.
Yep.
It's amazing. I'm not saying, I want to be very careful here, because there's being silly and then there's just being hyperbolic. I like doing a lot of the former. I like to avoid the latter whenever possible. I'm not saying they're gearing up to do U.S. shows. What I am saying is, if they ever get to the point where it's like, oh, let's go to Cali or let's go to Florida, let's do a fucking show like New Japan does sometimes. She's a great representative to have.
Yes.
Because I love her personality. Obviously, she's fluent in both languages. She's a perfect ambassador. I would say Mina and fucking Waka could also be great ambassadors, but she's definitely on the list. And the thing is, like, her and Mina, at least as far as wrestlers go, like, we already know how we feel about Waka, fucking great on that front too.
Yeah.
So it's very wise for Stardom to put the SWA title on her. I wanted it for Mina because I fucking adore Mina. You guys will know that later, as I'm sure you already figured.
Yeah.
But I love Tekla's moveset. I love her energy. I love her bond with Julia. What a breath of fresh air. And that's coming from a company where there's like no fucking pollution. And I'm already saying still, like, what a breath of fresh air is Tekla. I love her. And I definitely think she'll climb up my ranks, but I wanted to be a bit tempered right now and still show respect to those fandom vets that we all know and love. So who's next on your list, bud?
Well, number 4 on my list is someone that you've just kind of highlighted, actually, and I believe 3 of our top 4 will be in common, by the way. My number 4 is Mina Shirakawa.
I love it. So what's she doing for you?
Well, I mean, I'm sure you noticed that Tam didn't even make my top 5. She was one of my honorable mentions. So Mina has officially become my new favorite Cosmic Angel by a pretty sizable distance, actually, and that's probably got a lot to do with the fact
Bro,
that Tam...
I think it dropped, because if you're talking, I can't hear you. I don't know if you can hear me, so I'm going to hang up and call you back.
Yep, I'm going to have him call me back. Go ahead. There we go. He should call me. Yeah, there we go. Hello.
So sorry about that. I know you said, I don't know if you've noticed, but Tam, and that's where you completely dropped off. So
Okay.
what about Tam?
Tam is in my honorable mentions, which means she's not even in my top 5.
Oh, that's right. Holy shit.
Right.
Oh,
So what I was gonna say then was that Mina has become, by a pretty sizable margin, actually, my favorite Cosmic Angel. And I think that a lot
oh
of
my
that has
God.
to do with the fact that Tam just hasn't had a ton to do lately. She wasn't on the big show that we just watched because of some kind of, maybe she got COVID. I don't know. Some kind of, I don't even know, honestly. I don't know if they even said it was poor physical condition. They might not have. But Mina has just eclipsed her in my personal fandom for now. I still, like, if you ask me who the better wrestler is, I'm saying Tam every single time. So
Right.
from a
Yeah.
personal fandom standpoint, yes, Mina has overtaken Tam for now. We'll see how long that lasts. But yeah, Mina, and I think that's less to do with Mina and more to do with Tam just kind of falling off because it's like she really the only notable thing that she's done in the last couple months was her awesome Wonder of Stardom Championship match with Kamitani, and she lost the title in that match, you know? So it's like that was a great
Yes.
match, but she also lost it. So it's like less notable for that reason. But yeah, Mina has been so good. I've loved her being able to show off her personality more and more in the feud against Tekla. She's talking more and more in English. She is expanding her move set at an alarming rate for someone her age. And I just absolutely love watching her growth as a performer and her kind of coming out of her shell. Not that she was ever really in a shell, but her kind of opening up more to Stardom's audience. And yeah, I've just really enjoyed seeing her develop over time.
Love it, man. Love it. This next woman on my list, I think is going to be pretty high on yours. I won't put a number to that feeling because I don't want to like expose your hand before you've had a chance to say anything. Hazuki, number
Oh,
4
dude,
on
no,
my
she was
list.
in my honorable mentions.
Oh my God, dude. Thank you for reminding me who's in your honorable mentions. I try and hold on to some names, but I do forget some.
Should I go over
That's
them again?
wild. Yeah, just real quick, I guess. Go
Okay,
over them again.
Micah, Kashima, Lady C, Hanan, Kogo, Mayu, Utami, Tam, Tekla, Mirai, Natsupoi, Hazuki, Azumi, Himeka.
Wow, and Azumi. Wow. Okay. Fuck. All right.
Dude, when you hear my top 3, none of them are going to surprise you, I promise.
I believe you. I
My
believe
number
you.
my
For
number
the moment,
1 will
though,
surprise you that she's eclipsed my numbers 2 and 3, but it won't surprise you that she's on my list. And my numbers 2 and 3 are like the most slam dunk, easy to predict picks ever.
yeah, I guarantee you, when you say them, I'm gonna be like, oh, that's
Yeah.
usually how it goes.
Yeah.
For now though, Hazuki's just been amazing since she's come back. I love her, and honestly, again, guys, look, I know that I'm 85% sociopath, but there is a soft underbelly there that's loving and believes in friendship, except for Natsupoi, who I'm still waiting to see get betrayed, and it's a good time. It's a good time. Hazuki turning babyface, which it struck a chord with me because I have not stopped fucking doing that since it happened.
You love that shit.
I really do. I really do. Japanese wrestling just makes me silly in the best way.
Yeah.
It's been great. I've loved her story, and she has been working her fucking ass off. Like, I'm not even talking about like as a character where like you notice she's been the difference for Stars teams whether they win or lose.
Yep.
But just like I really believe she's outworking a lot of people in that fucking ring. It's insane. I loved her matches with Utami. I'm loving FWC, to be honest. Like, I like Koguma. I think she only annoys me when she tries to overextend herself like she did with the high-speed championship situation. But FWC is a nice tag team. I'm more like pro Hazuki in that sense because she's, very grounded. I'm still waiting for her and Mayu to have a singles match because I think I was just expecting that when she interrupted Mayu the first time to kind of announce her return and everything. But no, she ends up joining her fucking faction. She deserves the world. I hope she gets the Wonder of Stardom title at some point in this particular run for her. Beautiful person, beautiful fucking worker, great theme, as I know you always like to point out. And yeah, she really enlivens the product. And again, saying that about my favorite product, It's nothing but good on top of good, and Asuka is certainly a part of that. So who's next on your list, bud?
Absolutely, yeah. Next on my list, number 3 is Momo Watanabe.
Of course, god damn it, the insensitive feelings hurt her. But go talk about
So
it.
to be clear, this was one of the 3 women that I thought we would have in common in our top 4. Are you telling me she's not in your top 3?
No, she's not.
Wow. Okay. Okay, I am on an island here then. That's very interesting. I did not expect that. She's actually, dude, she's even in my mom's Fave 5, but she's not on yours. And she didn't even make your honorable mention, so she's not even in your top 10 right now. What the
I think it
hell?
just shows. I think she just shows how good of a heel she is, because I'm still a bit traumatized.
Get worked, nerd.
I'm so proud of you, but we're gonna have words later. No, right now, just extol the virtues
Of the
venomous
Black
Momo.
Peach.
Throw that shit in the garbage because it's mold. Anyway, no, this is your time. Go talk about how great Momo is.
I mean, dude, I feel like this heel turn has reinvigorated her in the ring. She has been so vicious lately in the ring. It's incredible. It's been blowing my mind. I really feel like turning heel has taken her from like an 8.5 out of 10 in the ring to like damn near a 10 out of 10 in the ring. Because right now, I don't think there are any flaws to her in ring game. I really do think that she's hitting on a stride that she hasn't hit on probably in like 4 years or so, maybe 3 years at the very least, like since her white belt run, I would say. She has felt like she has been in a holding pattern for pretty much the last 2.5, 3 years, pretty much the entire time that you and I have been watching Stardom. It has felt like Momo Watanabe has been in purgatory of some kind because she's been like the first challenger to a new champion as like a filler to just buff up their reign stats, and she makes it to the finals of the 5 star only to put over the actual winner of the 5 star. Finally now it feels like she is at the forefront where she belongs, and she is paying that position off in a major way with her in-ring work. She has been excellent lately, and I just can't wait to see more of her. And that's really all I can say.
You know, dude, I want to turn up so bad just because you have her on lip. But being serious, everything you're saying is on point. There's really no disagreement to make here. I think you said it perfectly with the word reinvigorated, because
Yeah.
I see that too. I'll tell you, dude, there is a Momo Watanabe fan account that keeps track of the number of days, like of her just or of them, I guess, waiting for her to win the red belt. And I think we're like getting close to 400, but they do it every day. I would say to all those hardcore Momo fans, I really feel like your time's coming. Honestly, like I really feel like it's coming, because I think, again, everything you said was on point, and I'm glad that you gave her the recognition that I'll admit she deserves. And I also wanted to be serious because I needed a minute, because I'm still kind of dying inside laughing from you being like, "Get work, nerd." That delivery was. So next on my list. Next on my list, Mina Shirakawa.
Oh, perfect.
You know, I think I gave my big speech about her last time we were up here, and it's going to be like a lot of a rehash. I'm sorry. Like, I am a broken record. I will readily cop to that. I am so fucking proud of this woman. Like, it's almost unfair how good she's gotten. But I love it, though. And she's not even stuck.
It's unfair to every other inexperienced wrestler who we will now hold up to her in comparison. Like, why aren't you as good as her already?
Yeah, exactly. No, I think you
like
said
if
it
she
perfectly.
can start wrestling at 30 and be this good less than 4 years into her career, I'm sorry, but like there are no excuses anymore for garbage tier performers that have been in the business for a decade, like Charlotte Flair.
Yes, 1000%. I mean, hell, you gave a perfect tribute to Mina here. I don't really know what else there is to say, but I will say that I really hope that Mina and her dream of like an international Cosmic Angels comes to pass. And I'll be honest, even if it would cause some narrative friction between her and Tam, I hope Mina gets to lead it. I think she's earned that right. I think she's been so good as a character and as a performer that I could buy her handling business for Cosmic Angels, being kind of like, the Fale in the sense of being an underboss. Like, hey, Tam, I still answer to you, but let me take care of this shit. Let me get my own operation going on. I root for her every time. It says something when Tam, who I'm increasingly beginning to think is the Daniel Bryan for me of Stardom, in the sense that, like, I will always acknowledge how fucking good she is. She'll just never be in my fandom sphere, maybe to the level she should be. But, like, I've given Tam her props. We both have, consistently. And yet when she was feuding with Mina, I was looking at it low-key and I'm like, I wouldn't really shed a tear if Mina beat you here. Because, like, I was rooting for Mina to be the Wonder of Stardom champion. She's that good. I still would love to see her get a white belt run. Yeah, she's fucking fantastic. And that accordion theme fucking slaps. Play that accordion all fucking night. And Stardom's variation of it specifically, which I like found a fucking ripoff, and I play that shit on repeat. I think I've even worked out to that shit before. I'm a weird egg. Mina's a weird egg. It fucking works, baby. It fucking works.
It's actually completely true.
Yeah, you acknowledging it is everything. So that's it for me. Mina's fucking great. Love the feud with Tekla as well. Sexy Pida is where it's at. So who's next on your list?
Well, number 2 on my list, I'm gonna guess is one of your top 2. At least I would sure as hell hope so. Starlight Kid.
Awesome. Talk about it.
Really, I just feel like she has managed to become the top heel in all of Stardom after literally having been the understudy of the top face for 4 or 5 years. She's really come into her own as a singles performer and as a solo heel, really. But she doesn't need to be a solo heel because she has an entire ass heel support system behind her that makes her, in my mind, a very credible challenger to literally any championship that she wants. If she wanted to challenge Shooty for the red belt tomorrow, I'd be like, man, Shooty better watch out because that O&O tie interference could cost her that title. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. 100%.
Like, we've seen this structure allow for fucking Rina to eliminate Azumi from the Cinderella tour. Or Momo, actually. It was, I forget who it was. Shit, I'm blanking. I think it was Azumi. I think Rina eliminated Azumi from the Cinderella tournament this past year. And Starlight Kid did eliminate Momo. Actually, holy shit, what a story that is. Starlight Kid eliminated Momo. Jesus Christ. My God, there's just so much to dig into there. But I guess Momo saw the support structure and wanted it for herself. But anyway, yeah, Kid is already, to me, by herself, without any interference, a completely credible white belt contender. But you take that interference into account, especially the idea that, like, you and I pretty much both agree, Shooty probably isn't losing the red belt to anyone straight up. It's much more likely that she'll lose because the opposing team or opponent cheats to win. That makes it that much more likely that if Kid would challenge for the belt, she'd win it. You know? Like, it's really, that's like, Kid is in a position right now where she is the top heel in the company and probably one of the top merch sellers in the company, honestly, or oddly enough. And, like, she literally just had the photo book come out at the end of last year. Like, Kid's just on top of the world right now from a booking standpoint, and she's one of my favorite acts to actually watch perform in Stardom, which speaks volumes because I fucking love basically everyone in Stardom. And I think you and I both can probably say that. So let's get to your number 2 next.
I'm really excited about this one. Utami. Something interesting happened.
It's so interesting to me the way that we latch on to different characters. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I agree though, man. By the way, everything you said about Starlight Kid, I loved it, and my time's coming, so everybody just be patient. Yes. But, something interesting happened with me and Utami. She lost. And nothing's really felt quite right since then. See, the funny thing is with Utami, I knew for a long time that she was really good. I would sing her praise about how young she is and how poised she is. She carries herself so well. Like, you even said, like, is she Stardom's Okada? And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, honestly, because, like, she hit the ground running. and I'm gonna say a truth here, and I know I doubt Brandon's even still here. I know he came in and kind of gave his NXT Fave Five, which is cool. Um, I wish Utami was still world champion. I don't hate Shuri. I'm not enjoying the run, right? But it's so weird to me, like Utami losing, and I don't think this has ever happened before, but it took Utami losing for me to truly see how much I love her and how much I love watching her. Because ever since she's lost the red belt, I'm like, oh yeah, cool. I still wish she was holding it. I actually wanted her to break Io's record. I wanted her to be the standard bearer of Stardom on every metric. She's fantastic. She is absolutely fucking fantastic. And I hope in my bones that wasn't her only run with the red belt. I hope she gets it back at least 2 more times in her career. Because I think she deserves it. I think she's an amazing power wrestler in a way that's devastating and yet oddly elegant. I think her technique is wonderful to watch. I think the Iroha matchup she had, which I do believe is like outside this grading period, to be fair, but I just want
Yes.
to point that out just to say that I think it showed that she has so much more nuance than maybe even I originally believed. I love the character shift where she just wants to rip fucking Momo apart. Um, she's fantastic, and really, like, again, I feel like she was one of those people. She could have been in that Brian territory where I was taking her for granted, but her just losing to Shuri and not getting the moment that I feel like she deserved. And I'm not even contesting people that were like, you guys didn't see that it was Shuri's story because she dedicated her mom and all this stuff. And my only response to that isn't even a rebuke, but it's more just a desire to say, I wish it was Utami's story.
Yeah.
I wish it was still her story.
Yeah.
Hell, dude, to be honest, I wish it was still her story because then I'd 100% would want Momo to take it off her. And I still do as it relates to Shuri. I'm just saying with Utami, it would have been even more of a gut punch.
Yeah.
I think she was a great red belt champion. I hope that isn't the only run we get to say that about. And I just wanted to come up here and just say that she really did the company a huge service by showing that they can trust her at such a young age. When I was 23, I had started doing what I love to do and I started gaining traction. But if you would put a big responsibility on my shoulders, like, I guess the philosophy equivalent of that would be like, I don't know, lead a conference or lead a department or what. Like, I couldn't do it. Her maturity, her emotional maturity to be able to do all that, amazing. So just really wanted to sing her praises because I wish she was still world champion. And honestly, I think it was like a double happening because it showed me how much I love Utami, and it showed me that maybe I'm not as crazy about Shuri as I thought I was because I still like her and I still respect her and she's still legit as fuck. But yeah, like Tommy, fucking Queen's Quest, that's a queen I bow down to. Take a fucking note, Charlotte. But here's the thing, dude. I am curious as fuck who your number one is because 2 was Starlight Kid, and I know we shared Mina that one grading period, but I know a lot's changed. So who came in at number 1 for you, man?
Saya Kamitani.
I fucking knew it. If you would have asked me to guess, I would have said Kamitani, but I was like 90% sure. I left that 10%. Talk about it, dude. I fucking love that.
I don't think anybody has really connected with me more in Stardom, and maybe even in the wrestling world over the last 2 or 3 months than Kamitani. Her in ring has gotten to be fucking great, maybe even bordering on exceptional. Her personality is adorable and bubbly and sweet, and this whole online arc of her and Rossi where there's this mystery woman and she saw her face literally in the first meeting with Rossi, and this whole thing where she's trying to keep it a secret but she can't keep it a secret, so she's telling people, but every time she tells someone she has to make sure that they keep it a secret, and now we've got the first instance of someone using that to basically blackmail her. And then you add in the fact that she won the white belt in December and has been having great fucking matches, including the one where she won the white belt championship in the first place. She made Unagi look good, and I don't think that that's necessarily something that we can just kind of brush under the rug. I think that making Unagi look good is like still kind of a big deal because I think Unagi's still kind of like mid in the ring.
Yes, absolutely.
Kamitani has just been my favorite Stardom performer over the last couple months, period. Like, it's really that simple. I've just absolutely loved everything that she's done. I love her in ring. I love her personality and her promos. Even outside of the ring, I love the fucking Twitter angle that's been going on with her and Rossi and this mystery woman. I love like her acting, even the way that she was going crazy when Momo Kogo was acting like she was going to give away who this person was, and then again her acting with fucking Natsupoi when Natsupoi challenged her for the white belt and she like got all up in her face because she knows that whoever this mystery woman is shares a connection with her. Like I fucking love. I feel like Kamitani has become the center of the Stardom universe, and I'm along for the ride fully.
Everything you said was fucking beautiful. I could not stop smiling through all of that. If I could just say one thing, and I normally don't like to when it's like our picks, because I want it to be like your time, but like for Stardom as a company, I don't know if they chewed her ass out when the Iroha thing happened. Maybe they did. I don't know. But whether they did or not, I still love that they didn't like fucking fire her or anything like that because it was an honest mistake, and she obviously was very remorseful about it. But then they embraced it and they turned it into a character trait,
basically.
But like an effective meme.
Yeah,
I love that shit. So I really just want to double down on that point you made, dude. I love that. You said that I might have regrets. If there were any, it probably would be Kamitani because she really has killed it. And you know how hard I've been standing her white belt reign. She is fucking fantastic. I loved what you said at the close, her being the center of the Stardom universe. And I would add that, like, yeah, she's even being that center, she's holding it all together. And that's a huge testament to her. Yep. And speaking of huge testaments and giving sermons, Starlight Kid, let's fucking talk about it, shall we? So I'm about to be full me right now. All right.
Oh, so that's my favorite you.
So I talk about who I'm proud of in wrestling, and yeah, I've actually used that a lot for Mina Shirakawa. But let's straighten that record a little bit. There is nobody in wrestling that I'm prouder of right now than Starlight Kid.
Yeah.
This fucking like I need to because I said I was gonna go all in my fucking bag. So I'm going to do something here, and I actually have the fucking user and everything fucking pulled up properly, which I like.
Oh, the retweet?
Yeah, the retweet, at Jordan_Patu. Great Twitter user. I've actually been enjoying their takes. I think I'll even give them a follow live as we're doing this. He said, quote, Starlight Kid has transitioned from beloved babyface to diabolical heel better than most people in this industry ever have. That, coupled with her in-ring ability, makes her one of the best professional wrestlers on the planet today in my eyes. Stardom Sky Tiger is goated. And to all of that, and by the way, my favorite reply of all that, which really got something going in my brain, somebody replied, Starlight Kid did something Rey Mysterio never could.
Yes.
And I'm like, we're having that conversation now. We're doing that conversation now. It is so fucking good. When I tell you, like, she really is. I love this woman. I know there was that period where, like, Mina was my number one, but here's the thing. That was more a testament, again, much like Momo. Get work, nerd, running it back. I'm like, man, kid, you're a heel, but I love you as a babyface, and no, you're innocence. And she's like, no, John, you don't understand. The innocence has to die, because once I kill it, then everything will be mine. And I'm just sitting in the corner. I'm kind of crying a little bit like, okay. And now that I've seen it, I'm like, yeah, you know what? Pay our respects, yeah. Rest in piss to fucking babyface Starlight Kid onto the world title, baby. Because, like, yeah, honestly, you know what I love about fucking wrestling? I mean, when I really love wrestling, it's that when I love someone, and that's why I stan you fucking Momo fans. I stan Momo and I stan her fans because, like, I know you guys are hungry. I know you guys are fucking starving. And I feel you because I'll tell you, when Starlight Kid challenges for that world title, and notice I said when, not if, because she is unfucking deniable. When she challenges for it, I'm like, you know, it's really emotional for her, and she dedicated this to her mom. Man, I wish I cared more, though, because if Kid used a steel chair, if she used a flaming table, if she shoved thumbtacks in Shuri's mouth, I would look the other way every single fucking time. And while everybody else is losing their goddamn mind saying, but she's discrediting the championship, it's supposed to be about sportsmanship and pure wrestling, I would just be like, oh, I'm sorry, y'all hear something? Because I'm too busy celebrating the greatness that is Starlight fucking Kid.
Take your sportsmanship and shove it up your assmanship.
Yes. My favorite Ashtonism so far of 2022 by far. And believe me, I'm keeping a mental note.
Of course.
I I really don't give a baker's fuck who this woman will have to fuck over, what dreams will have to die for her to get what she wants. I really, when I tell you the Machiavellianism in me jump the fuck out when I'm thinking about this woman and the fucking takeover she's doing of the business. I will say this right now. I said I was going full John with this, so let me be crystal clear. I do not give a fuck who your favorite is. She will eat you. She will eat your dreams, and she won't even
soul.
And this is the most important part. She won't even give a single solitary fuck about you to pay for the therapy you will need when it's all fucking over. So, I don't know. Get a healthcare job. Oh, wait, we can't because the world's on fire. Sucks to suck, planet Earth. But you know what? It doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, no matter what we go through, I cannot wait to call this woman my World of Stardom champion, because it, much like her talent and just everything she is fucking inevitable. Take a fucking note, Thanos, because unlike you, she'll be able to finish the fucking job. I love this woman. She is everything right about pro wrestling. She has worked her ass off this whole fucking time. And honestly, and here's the most serious note of all, and I'm actually going to bring myself down to a simmer for this. What you all don't even see coming, and maybe I'm just being arrogant at this point because I do believe it's coming. When this woman goes back to being a babyface, and when her and Miyu fucking reconcile, which I am rooting for, and I do think will happen, maybe not even in terms that I'm thinking of right now, but I do think it'll happen. On God, like you could put that right up there with the fucking Golden Lovers reunion when that happened, and the like I think it's going to be so emotional and so fucking beautiful and so wonderful. This woman will really, when that happens, will cement herself not just as a great in-ring wrestler, but just as one of the greatest characters in wrestling just right now. I think she's already kind of there already, but when she completes that journey with fucking Miyu, because I think that's the long, overarching story for her, it's wrestling fucking magic. It's why we all love this business. It's why I love this business at fucking 7 years old. It's what we live for. It's what we come and talk about, because through all the rants about how Charlotte sucks or this company shouldn't have such malpractices of hosting shows in tyrannical governments or platforming nepotistic fucking assholes, we come on here to talk about what is so genuinely fucking good. We can't quit it, even if it would be better for us and honestly for them. Because a Starlight Kid comes along and says, my God, I could watch the football, I could read the books, I could do this, I could do that, but there's something about this form of theater that just fucking grips me and just makes me know that it is fucking magic when it happens. This woman is magic in a fucking bottle. She makes me love this business. She'll make me always have a place in this business right until I'm dead, no matter how I grow or whatever my interests might be. She is a legend in the fucking making, and if anyone is not considering her as a world champion, sir, all due respect, I would get a corrective on that, because it's going to hit you in the fucking face and we're all going to have seen it coming. So that's what I got to fucking say. She's art just every time she goes in there, and I cannot wait for her to get the championships and the recognition and everything that she deserves. And again, already, because you showed me that poll, she's in the top 10 for like fan favorites. She was number 7, I believe. So, and I think she'll climb even higher. Honest to God, I think she'll climb even higher in the years to come, and it's well deserved. So that's probably the longest I've talked about a number 1, but I fucking love her, and Starlight Kid forever.
Somehow,
so that's it for me. Yeah. Beautiful. Just beautiful. All right. That leaves one more fucking list, and that is the other list. I go first on this one, right, for honorable mentions?
I believe so, yes.
I'm actually proud of myself because I actually do have a full roster for this. Thank you. I actually did earn that golf clap this time. Number 5, Adam Cole. 4, Ruby Soho. 3, Jordan Grace. 2, Lee Moriarty. 1, Bandito.
Wow, Bandito didn't make your Fave 5. That's surprising me.
No, not compared to other recent stuff that, like, really recent stuff that we got, I would say.
So,
yeah.
I'm just going to be 100% transparent here. I didn't have time to order my honorable mentions because there are so many.
That's quite, dude, this is honestly what I've been waiting for. Like, I'm not even mad. I'm just excited to hear them all. So
my
go, dude.
honorable mentions in the other section, I'm going to go by company rather than going, in order of favorites. So,
Totally fair. Yeah.
starting with Impact, Moose, Chelsea Green, Jay White, Jordan Grace, Mike Bailey, Willie Mack. Nice and simple. Moving on to AEW, Andrade El Idolo, Daniel Garcia, Dante Martin, Hook, John Moxley, Lee Moriarty, Malachi Black, Jamie Hayter, Chris Statlander, Mercedes Martinez. Done there. I want to throw one name out that isn't really technically a part of any one company. He's actually been wrestling more in Impact lately than anywhere, but he's still not signed to Impact. Uh, that's Jonathan Gresham. And I only really wanted to emphasize Gresham here because he did have a really solid match, or at least I shouldn't say a solid match. He had a solid performance in what should have been a better match against Josh Alexander. Too bad Josh Alexander's boring as fuck. But also, Gresham, it literally is running Terminus, so I want to at least give him credit for that too. Like, it's his promotion, and it was, the first show was solid. I'm very, very excited for the second show because of Swerve. So then we get around to Tokyo Joshi, and I've got Hikari Noa, Miyu Watanabe, Mizuki, Saki-sama, and Yuka Sakazaki on that list. And finally, we get to Pro Wrestling Noah, and on that list I have Takashi Sugiura, Masa Kitamiya, Manabu Soya, and of course our boy Katsuhiko Nakajima.
Very, very cool. All right. So, number 5 for me.
Wait.
Freddie. Oh.
Okay, yeah, yes. No, you're good. You're good. Freddie
Yehi.
Yehi. Right? Yehi. Or Yehi.
I thought it was Yehi, but then I thought I misremembered. I misremembered because I thought you corrected me on that, but no, you corrected me on something else to that. So Yehi. Even though I can't pronounce his fucking name, he's fucking great at wrestling. I enjoyed him on the Terminus show. A lot of fun. I'm looking forward to seeing if he'll come back for more of those shows. And I just really liked what I saw in there. So granted, this is just based on one show, but he looked really good in there. And I just hope I get to see more of him. So who's number 5 on your list?
Number 5 on my list is Miyu Yamashita.
Awesome. What a fucking killer.
I mentioned another Miyu Watanabe on my honorable mention. She is awesome. I really love her too. She's the one that does the crazy variants of the big swing, where like one of them is where she has like someone in like a bear hug and transition into the big swing. She'll do a big swing with 2 women at the same time. I think I've seen her do a big swing where she had someone on her shoulders doing like a UFO spin as well. She's a beast. And she's not like this super big buff muscular woman like Jazzy Gabert or something like that. She just looks like a normal Japanese woman, but she is a fucking powerhouse and she's awesome. But she's an honorable mention. Miyu Yamashita is the actual number 5 on my honorable or on my other list because she is awesome. She is a badass, and I've seen more matches of her throughout this grading period. I saw she had a match with Mizuki. Dude, Mizuki is another one of my honorable mentions. She is like a purely intangible wrestler, if that makes any sense at all. Like, there's nothing about her appearance or her skill set that would make you think that she's a great wrestler, but she is anyway because of the mental side of wrestling that you can't measure.
Yeah.
Like, her acting is incredible. Her psychology is awesome. Everything that you can't measure that makes a wrestler great, Mizuki's great at. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
But her match against Miyu was great. That was on the 4th. That was the same night as Wrestle Kingdom, I believe. It might have been the night before, actually. Miyu is just a beast. Her skull kick is the best in the business. I kind of want her to come to AEW just to get that bigger platform. Because really, like, we've seen Maki Ito in AEW, and it made some really memorable moments, but it also didn't really translate super well because I don't think AEW really made an effort to translate what she does very well. Miyu Yamashita doesn't need translating. She is a badass, and badasses work in any language.
The facts, dude. Very well said. Yeah. So, am I good to give number 4?
Please do.
Daniel Garcia.
Oh, nice.
Very similarly to Freddie, just seeing him work the Terminus show and just seeing, I think seeing the clip from him on the PWG preview that you, me, and your mom watched together,
God,
it's
yeah.
like, damn,
Yeah.
this dude's fucking intensity. Like, I think he's everything that, Impact probably wishes Josh Alexander was, because you're right, he's boring as fuck.
Yeah.
Fuck Josh Alexander personally. But yeah, Daniel Garcia is great. I do want to see more of him. I think he's one guy that this year I would like to make a concerted effort to maybe see more of.
Well,
And
honestly,
we'll
you might not have
happen.
to make that much of an external effort, because he might just be on all the Terminus shows, and we might just watch more than one of them.
Yeah, you never know. Because I thought for us with Terminus it was going to be one and done, and then Swerve was like, "I'll work for you guys," and it's like, well, you can't pass up a fucking Swerve match, especially when the fucking leash is off. The WWE fucking constricting and everything.
Yeah.
So yeah, good shit. All right, next on your list.
Number 4 on my list is the king of finesse style. That is Chris Bay from Impact Wrestling. He's also been working New Japan Strong, but I haven't seen that. I've only been seeing him at Impact, and he's fucking excellent. I've also followed him on Twitter, which I don't follow that many wrestlers on Twitter. So for me to follow you on Twitter as a wrestler is like a big deal. It's like it really means that I want to know what you're doing, or at least what your opinions are and stuff like that. Chris Bay is one of the few wrestlers that I follow on Twitter. He is awesome. Dude, I think he only weighs like 160 something pounds, and he's like bench pressing, or not bench. He's doing some kind of weightlifting that's like 300 plus pounds, and I'm just like, what the how this dude is like superhuman. He's ridiculously shredded, and I mean, if you needed reason for how he's doing all these crazy weightlifting stunts, there you go. Look at his fucking ridiculous musculature. Um, he's so good in the ring. Like again, like I don't like to compare anyone to Swerve because of how unique Swerve is, but and really Chris Bay isn't similar to Swerve as far as like the way that they move, but they are similar in the sense that they move so much unlike anyone else. You know what I mean? Like
Yes. Yeah.
Swerve has this way of moving in the ring that makes you feel like you're just experiencing something completely different. And Chris Bay is the same exact fucking thing, but obviously they don't move the same way because they're both completely unique. Like they're in different universes, but because they're both in different universes, they're both completely unique to what we're used to in wrestling today.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Have you seen much of Bay? I feel like you've seen maybe one match of his ever.
It's been a while, dude. It's been a while since I've checked in on Chris Bay, but I keep hearing good things, man. Like he's somebody that not just like from you, but I feel like in the internet, like he's kind of setting the world on fire right now, and I'm just like, good for him.
He's special. He is special. There was just a match on Thursday on Impact that was Bullet Club. It was him, Gorillas of Destiny, and Jay White against Ace Austin, Madman Fulton, Jake something, and Speedball Mike Bailey. That was a fucking great match. That might have been my favorite match of the week. So,
damn.
Yeah, it was really good. And Chris Bay wasn't in the match nearly as much as I would have liked, but as you would expect with someone like him, he maximized his minutes and he looked great when he was in the match.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Number 3 for me, Jon Moxley.
Nice.
I guess he just connected with me. His story of getting his life together. I saw his promo and, telling the fan, get the fuck out of there. I love the energy there. And that I've got to just be curious about somebody because everybody knows how I've just been like, no, I gave AEW my chance. I'm just very tentative about to go back to it, even though I will occasionally watch clips here or there of like a certain act that maybe I've heard a lot about and I'm just a bit curious about. But I actually pulled up a stream of Rampage for his return match, and I watched his return match. And he looked fucking great in there.
Yeah.
I think he's getting ready to go on a whole other run, and I think he's going to remind people how great he is. And this may not even be the last time we see him here. Just because, again, I think he's really getting ready to kick it into a higher gear. And I'm happy with the fucking dude. So.
We'll talk about something else then. So, were you... Continue. I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Oh no, bro, you're fine. No, I'm done. No, I just wanted to keep it real simple and casual. Yeah, like I'm just happy for Mox.
My number 3 is Bandito.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Like we literally went back and rewatched a 2019 PWG show, and it just kind of reminded me how fucking great he was. Then we watched the fucking Terminus show, and he was on that, and he was great on that. And he has also been on PWG previews that we've been seeing. He looks great on those. So, like, just kind of being freshly reminded of how great Bandito is and really just his existence in general was enough for me to put him all the way up at number 3 on this list. He's just fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Honestly,
yeah,
whatever
fucking...
company ends up signing this dude is making out like a bandit.
You can stay. That was genuinely clever. Okay. Number 2 for me, Nakajima.
Tatsuko Nakajima, nice.
I love how fucking menacing this dude is. He really is like Naito, but he'll just kick your soul out of your chest. And I
keep saying he is like a fucking fusion dance fusion between Naito and Shibata.
And it works though.
Yeah.
Like that's the fucking insane thing. I love his theme, dude. When I tell you seriously that his theme actually made my workout playlist and is currently I think my placeholder for my theme of the year.
Wow.
Like yeah, I've listened to that shit multiple fucking times. So that fucking tells you something. And yeah, I think he's a great fucking performer. I'd say prospect, but I know like he's a little up there. But he's a great performer and he's a great champion for Noah. And I think he's 33. Doing what he's supposed to do. Yeah, it's not bad. I think it's the perfect time to have a fucking world title run, and just like fucking take the leash off and just go and stun on everybody.
He's younger than Okada.
That's wild, actually.
I just looked. Okada's 34. Nakajima's only 33. I did not know that. That's a nice TIL.
That's wow. Jesus Christ. Good. Yeah, Nakajima's got it, man. Yeah. Fuck. What else is there to say? He's just fantastic. So who's next on your list?
Well, it's just funny to me that we both have a Pro Wrestling Noah representative at number 2, but they're different dudes. And you didn't even mention my number 2, and your number 2 was in my honorable mentions. My number 2 is Go Shiozaki.
Very nice,
dude.
Very nice.
The matches that we got to see him in, he is my reason for watching Noah. Like, if I watch Noah, it's because I want to see Shiozaki. That dude is awesome. He keeps that, like, Kenta Kobashi, Misawa spirit alive today. He is that good.
Number 1 for me, Go Shiozaki.
Oh, love it. I love it.
You said it perfectly. I think the only thing that I could add to the discourse, stop. And that's literally the reaction I had to his fucking chops.
Yes.
To fucking Nakajima.
Yes.
Like, this dude is so good. Actually, this is the only unique thing that I can contribute to this discourse because you just said it so perfectly, as you usually do. I love your face for that. But the only thing that I can contribute is my face. So that was one aspect of my face. And then the other aspect would be a term that actually made you pop. And I think you actually even said when we were right into the match, like, oh, I love that. When I straight up called Shiozaki, I'm like, oh my God, he's ambidangerous, which is a play on ambidextrous.
Yes.
Like, he's so fucking good. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, dude, you know what's fucking crazy to me? And I don't know if you can relate, because I know you and I, we curate our Twitters very differently. You even kind of gave a bit of exposition about that for Chris Bay, which I love that. Because anybody that does know you, they know what a big deal that is. But or maybe I haven't mentioned it in a minute, but I've been following the Noah accounts for a while. And it's funny because I wasn't even watching it, right?
Right.
And like, I would hear about Go Shiozaki, and I'd be like, oh, he sounds cool. And I would always make a mental note, like, man, if I ever took a leap and I would watch Noah, like, I'd want to see that guy. And fuck, I really got to say, Javaris has thanked me several times for getting him into Stardom. Thank you for showing me. I won't say Noah entirely because I did end my subscription just kind of save up some money. It's more financial reasons than anything, but thank you, Javaris, for opening my eyes to Go Shiozaki. I mean, this one goes out to you, dude, because like...
Well, him and New Japan, because of that day 3 of Wrestle Kingdom, was our first exposure to the guy.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So yeah, New Japan and Javaris both. And really, I only say more Javaris because I feel like his exposure, that was more in a singles context. Because wasn't Shiozaki only like in what did Shiozaki even do on the New Japan show? Was that a one-on-one match or was that a fucking tag match? I feel like it was a tag match, right? So we got to see Shiozaki really up close against
It was him
Yeah,
and Kitamiya versus Evil and Dick Togo. Yeah.
yeah. And by contrast, Javara's like, oh, see this match, and the match with fucking Nakajima is my current match of the year. Like that is my match of the year winner for TWitWoW Year Awards
I love
2022.
that.
It was so like, dude. Here's the thing, and here's why it earned that honor. And you know this too, because you know you and I were going hard on the New Japan commentary. So much so that we're like, okay, Javaris, we'll do your recording same day. Just give us a 30-minute period. And thank God you advocated for that, because I ate, I took care of what I needed to. And I'm like, okay, I should have enough energy.
Yeah.
And then I feel like I gave the kind of reaction like I was just starting the TWitWoW day, not ending it. Like my energy and my investment in that, I even said this in our live reaction to that match. Shiozaki and Nakajima both, to be fair, that's why they were 2-1 respectively, were so fucking good that I forgot that Nakajima was the GHC champion on the Wrestle Kingdom show, and I was thinking that Shiozaki was going to win. Like, I got worked despite knowing that I should not have gotten worked. Like, it's right in front of your face. It was fucking excellent. And I think what you said about keeping Kobashi's spirit alive, dude, in just one sentence, you said something far better than I can in all of these, because you really captured it, I think, perfectly. I think he's the kind of ace you would want in a company, for sure. And my God, I hope to never get hit by one of those chops. I mean, for me to react that way.
Dude, the thing is, I think his chops are actually better than Kobashi's. And Kobashi was literally known for his chops.
Yeah. It's... again, like, stop! Like, and it's not even like excessive violence or whatever.
You're hurting you.
Yeah. What more can I say? But I haven't had a lapse like I did, I think, for New Japan. I do know that you haven't given your number one yet, because Shiozaki was only your number two, right? So, who is your number one?
Since you would have guessed my number one in Stardom and I didn't give you a chance, I want to give you a chance. Do you know?
You didn't say Maki Ito, right? Was she in your honorable mentions
at all?
She
was in my honorable mentions.
Then I genuinely do not know, because my go-to is always Maki Ito, to be honest. But I'm curious.
Bryan Danielson.
Oh, and again though, I should have fucking known. Yeah. But this is your time. Talk about it. Talk about it.
I mean, literally, he's done three things in this grading period. Three notable things. The 60-minute time limit draw with Hangman Page, which I might actually be higher on than everyone else somehow, when I'm the one that like hates the 60-minute Broadway type things. But like that match was still just so fucking good, and it was one of those things where like it opened the show, so you didn't know that it was gonna go 60 minutes, and then you're like 40 something minutes in, and the match doesn't feel like it's gonna end anytime soon, and you're like, oh my god, is this gonna go to a draw? And then it does. Then they had another damn near 30-minute match for the title that Hangman actually won. So again, Bryan putting over the fucking future. And then just, I believe this past Wednesday on Dynamite, he cut a promo asking Moxley to join forces and recruit young studs on the AEW roster. And he specifically named your boy, Daniel Garcia, and Lee Moriarty as guys that they should recruit to train from the ground up to be the future of AEW. Like, fucking love Danielson, and those three things alone were enough to make him number one on this list. He's fucking amazing.
I already said, dude. The only thing I'll contribute, because this was your number one, this dude's got to be in sincere, genuine GOAT conversation.
Yes.
Like, absolutely. His constancy, amazing.
You've been using that word so much lately, and I'm just like, what's the difference between that and consistency? Is there?
I mean, probably not. I don't care. Just a word that comes to me, but I really think him and AJ will be vying on top of the mountain for that ultimately.
Yeah.
Because I could really see a case made for both guys, but to be quite honest, I think Danielson edges him out on the promo, and I think that matters more. Like I really like AJ's amazing in ring, but I wouldn't even give him necessarily the edge in ring. At most I'd say they're tied, but as a promo, Danielson blows him out of the water. Yeah. Like the best AJ.
I don't even know if I would say he blows him out of the water, but I think I know what you're about to say. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, like, even the best AJ promo might do a scratch on the worst Danielson promo, but even the worst Danielson promo, like, it bites back.
Dude, I feel like the best AJ Styles promos are still very color by numbers. They're still very like classic pro wrestling promos. Like it feels like something out of the territories. And when it's really good, it's still fucking great. I'm not trying to say that it's bad. It's still awesome. But Danielson transcends that shit.
He does, dude. It's so funny that you mentioned that promo to Moxley because it's actually in my sidebar and it's currently sitting at 1.3 million views for AEW and it's been up 2 days. So like that's not bad,
Well,
especially by wrestling standards.
I'm at least one of those views because I went back and rewatched it today, just because I
Yeah,
wanted to hear it again. It was awesome. He's amazing.
and I reiterate too, if I'm just contributing a little something about Danielson, kind of giving him his flowers as well. I reiterate what I said back in the New Japan section about Shibata. There are only two people, if there's such a thing as
Yeah.
a wrestler's life, that have really lived it. It's fucking Danielson and Shibata right now. I'm sure if you go back in past eras, like I would say like a Guerrero and a Benoit, stuff like that. But in this era, yeah, it's a Shibata and it's a fucking Danielson, and it's amazing. It's truly amazing. So I love that he was number one for you. Because yeah, I still want to go back and hear some of his AEW promos, even more than the matches, because when he really gets going on the stick, like, fuck, man. But with that said, guys, now it's time. God, I love this commentary. This is so much fun. But now we have to bring the fun to an end. So our curtain call, our overall top 10. I know we usually go back and forth, my number 10 and then your number 10. Who do you want to kind of break the ice on this?
I think. I really don't know, dude. I think you went
yeah.
first on other, so I should go first on this, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you want to, that's perfectly fine with me.
Okay, my number 10 is Momo Watanabe.
My number 10 is Turk Law.
My number 9 is Cameron Grimes.
Number 9 is GYV.
Number 8, Go Shiozaki.
Number 8, Seth freaking Rollins.
Number 7, Seth freaking Rollins.
Number 7, Mina Shirakawa.
Wow. Number 6 for me is Carmelo Hayes.
Number 6 for me, Cameron Grimes.
Nice. Number 5, Starlight Kid.
Number 5, Utami.
Number 4, Kazuchika Okada.
Number 4, Kazuchika Okada.
Nice. Love it. The consistency. Number 3, Bryan Danielson.
Number 3, Bianca Belair.
Number 2, Io Shirai.
Number 2, Carmelo Hayes.
And number 1, Saya Kamitani.
Number 1, Starlight Kid.
Love it. Damn.
This I think is going to go down as one of my favorite Five Fave Fives in a while. There was just an energy about this. I fucking loved it. So
Dude,
if you guys loved it too,
we went over 2 hours and it doesn't feel like it at all.
No, that's why, dude. Like, I didn't want you to have like any pressure. Like with these, I'm always just vibing, dude. Like always. Like it's just like, yeah, we're just talking about what we love, and Starlight Kid better be my fucking number one with that whole speech I gave about her number one in Stardom. But yeah, I love that for both of us, our number ones are people that are just really lighting Stardom on fire right now. I fucking love that.
Truthfully, I think I want to put Danielson above EO. I want to put Danielson at 2 and EO at 3. So I'm going to make that switch right now. Very, very last second. Literally even like late. But I just, having just talked about what Danielson's done and thinking about how little EO has done, I have to put Danielson above her.
That makes all the sense in the world to me, man. And Io, I'll tell you, man, I'm just waiting for them to fucking do something with her. And by do something, I mean
Io
call
is
her
number
up and just get her in those
3
programs.
on my list, despite basically being on the bench. Like, she's not really on the bench, but she might as well be on the bench. Like, they're not really doing anything with her. They're just kind of casually and occasionally putting her on the product to keep her in people's minds, and she's still in. Is my number 3. Like, what the fuck is going to happen if she actually starts getting something to do?
Yeah, that's it. That's more or less what I was going to say to you, dude. That's more or less what I was going to say to you. When they rev the engine up again and they actually give her fucking something, she'll reclaim her territory. I ain't fucking worried. She is strong in your spot forever. Like I said, she's definitely one of your ride or dies.
Yeah.
And I love that, though. I fucking love that.
Dude!
Again, guys.
Oh, God, I'm sorry. I shouldn't be this excited. I'm sorry.
No, you should be. That's what this commentary. That's why I fucking love this shit. This is
no. See, this is where I should give you context. I'm saying I shouldn't be this excited because I was gonna say maybe this is your last list in a while that won't have Kyrie on it. Maybe.
Maybe. Maybe. I'm not gonna work myself.
I'm
If it
working
is, though.
myself, brother, into a shoot.
Fuck, man, I was gonna take us home and you blew up the ship. Fuck. We were so close. I was so composed and I was like, well, everyone, this is our favorite commentary that we do, and I'm just so happy. And you just have to go in with that face and just do that. God damn it.
I nuked it.
You really did. But I think actually no. That just at the last second unseated my favorite Ashton is in the 2022. What did that last fucking hour? Fuck. So that took the spot. God, between this and get work, nerd, you're in the mood today.
I am.
Fuck.
I didn't even think about it, but I really am.
I love that, like, when it matters, I probably don't know the things about you that I should, but I know the weirdest things about you, and I don't know why. Like, even when I told you about, like, you absorbing your impersonations into your being, and you're like, oh, John, you just told me something about myself that I wasn't ready for. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know why I know this stuff. But yeah, you're on one today. I'm here for it, though. Yeah, guys, I love this
my
commentary.
Cheeks hurt from laughing.
I love this commentary. It's my favorite thing that we do, because, like, it really is just about loving what you're covering. And we clearly are. Even the stuff that's a bit of a rough patch, we can figure out, the bright spots of it. And I just love that we get to celebrate that on here. So if you enjoyed it, please leave a like. I still got to recover too. Fuck. Yeah. Ashton, I wanted to ask you too, because I know we don't have anything this weekend. Is there a chance we'll have any kind of Stardom show on Monday that I should keep like an eye out for, or we like save for that? Are we just gonna see?
I can tell you right now, I do have on the schedule. Or no, wait, I don't have the February schedule up. Shit.
You need to modulate that tone, man. Otherwise, I'm not gonna recover. Fuck.
What?
Just kind of adjust the tone a bit.
So we already reacted to the 2-1 show, which means that their next show isn't until the 6th, and it's in Sendai Pit.
Oh, okay. So if it's this, okay.
God, what is it with Japan naming their venues after body parts? We have Sendai Pit and your favorite Shinjuku Face.
God damn it. Yeah, they did it. And Face is in all caps too. They know what they're doing. They know what they're fucking doing. They're like, go ahead, emphasize it, you little slut. You know you want to. And I'm like, oh, I really do.
God damn it.
Dude, did you see that? I actually, speaking of that, I don't even know why I'm mentioning this right now. So this is how you know that you infected me with your silliness. With the whole Eminem controversy going on, my favorite headline about it was somebody in the Rolling Stones that said, let the green Eminem just be a little slut. And I'm like, God damn, somebody went to journalism school to write that. What the fuck? Oh God. We're not even doing what we're supposed to be doing anymore. So I'm just going to hand the outro over to you now. So maybe Tuesday we'll cover the show. Maybe I don't know. Well, when do you think they'll get it up?
When did I say the show was? The 6th?
The 6th, yeah.
So then the 6th is Sunday morning. So I would say Tuesday or Wednesday is much more likely than Monday.
All right, yeah. So we'll see you guys hopefully Tuesday for Stardom at 5. If not, NXT review obviously at 10. And then yeah, Stardom would just be Wednesday then if it's not for Tuesday.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you go. And I'm just gonna hand it over to Ashton to more formally take care of the outro while I recover over here.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we hope that you all enjoyed. All 0 of you currently watching, we really appreciate the viewership. And if you did enjoy, remember to like the video. I see that we currently have 3 likes, so that's 3 ghosts that have liked our video that aren't actually watching us right now. We really appreciate ghost likes. We wish we could get more of those. If we happen to entertain you today, you can also subscribe to the channel. Click the bell, follow us on Twitter and Twitch, and if you'd like to support us, you can also subscribe on Twitch, buy our merch on Spring, donate to our Patreon, and share this channel and this video with all your wrestling fan friends, and let them in on the best kept secret in the YouTube and Twitch wrestling communities. You know, maybe it'd be better if we weren't such a secret. Maybe let people know about us. Maybe really fill them in and let them know how fun this coverage is and how fun these commentaries are. So Make us not a well kept secret anymore. Just spill the beans to everyone. And we will be seeing you all on Tuesday, whether that is for Stardom or for NXT. And if it's not for Stardom, then we'll see you on Wednesday, hopefully for Stardom. And I think that's all we've got for next week. I could be wrong. I could be forgetting something, but there are a few wrestling shows coming up that I want to check out. There's a Warrior Wrestling show coming up that I want to check out, and the number two Terminus show, Terminus Two, is also this month. So I'm looking forward to those. Hoping to check those out, and we might even be covering those on this channel. I don't know. We'll have to talk about it. We'll see. But that being said, we hope that you're all looking forward to that. You're looking forward to our Stardom coverage and NXT review on Tuesday. And of course, in order for us to all enjoy that content together, you're going to have to remember to stay tuned.